Guys, we're here. We've made it. Oh my gosh. I'm currently trying to sign into my sticky notes because I had to change my password earlier. Why? Because I tried to log into OneDrive and one password wrong and it was like blocked. But now we're here. Anyway, what did Sam link to? You linked to a video? You linked to It All Ends Tonight. Abigail! Alex, you are not slain. Can't wait for the pain to end. And then you guys get a vote on the next book tomorrow. Albeit, I won't be streaming. We won't have loin stream next week. Probably. I could say maybe and pack a portable microphone, but probably not. Because I will be in Baltimore for a wedding. But I should be back on Sunday. So I'm traveling on Friday. And Grumble! Don't fall into Mortem, bro. Bro, I would love to go to see something in Baltimore, but I'm freaking not going anywhere freaking by myself, yo. But I'm probably getting there Friday night, and then there's going to be the rehearsal dinner Friday night, and then the wedding is on Saturday, and then I'm leaving Sunday morning, so I should be fine. Also, hey, Sam and Monty and Alex and Bobby and Vanya and Semantic Dragon, what's up? And Polly, what's up? I gotta go through appropriately and catch all of you guys, hopefully. I got Grumble. I see Reaver, welcome. I feel like it's been forever, Reaver. I'll take a picture, don't worry. I'll take a picture when I land in Baltimore. Oh, thank you, Polly. I was like, should I bring the last copy of Bodymore 1 that I have and just leave it somewhere in Baltimore? I don't know. Pick up a bird for you? Maybe. In Joey's turf? Yup. I'll try to take a picture of a bird for you. Again, I don't know what my life is going to be. Because there's going to be getting ready for the wedding, and I have no idea when they're going to want me there. Okay. Last week, you didn't even have a blue name anymore. Yeah, I had to go through and kind of, like, sort out people that aren't normally in the chat because there was a problem child that had a problem. So I was like, if people show up, they can, and I see them on the regular, then I can remod them. Well, I can't vote on, how long is Fourth Wing? You are not the problem child. Okay, last time. Our name is Farrah Patina. We wanted to be a normie, but Mommy was a meanie. Mommy the meanie made us become a pro gamer. Hashtag no pro gamer moves. Also, I feel like, considering she's the freaking nemesis of the book, she really doesn't come in here all that much. I can tell you about the problem child later. You recall no problem child? The Zach Baggins hunting book, ghost hunting. There's a Zach Baggins ghost hunting book. If you submit that to the if you submit that to the forum, we can vote on it. Run into the biggest nemesis, son of the great incel uprising, Grimshaw Rysel, who is the, you know, alternate universe version of real Grimsel. Also, the army wouldn't let the youngest daughter into the army at all. Fair. Grimcell, yup. Pickle with big black pickle and tiny golden pickle. Hashtag Pete and Kim. Pete is unfortunately Grimm's pickle boyfriend. Hashtag enemies to pickle lovers. Everyone be angry that we got 2 pickles. Hashtag double fisting appetizers. That's not the only appetizer that we're double fisting. If you know, you know. Get pickle powers the same night. Pickles make squeaky noises together. Hashtag boredom. During squeaky pickle hour, paint 40k minis with Grimshaw. Hashtag starting a new hobby. Grimshaw gets intimidated by our new interest in Warhammer 40k, stops talking to us about minis, hashtag thirsty for lore, do battles, kill Todd Howard, hashtag no more balls attacks, hashtag free Skyrim, discover, most powerful gamer word in the century, hashtag strikes like lightning, be upset, get with Grimshaw, hashtag blood is hot, hashtag killer sex, hashtag broken furniture room. Can I have Skyrim now? Maybe. Afterwards, constantly harass Grim for not DTRing with us, hashtag saucy texting. Constantly thinking about 40k and roosters, hashtag homesteading. Graduation day has come, hashtag pickle prom. Leave party early, hashtag too cool for formality. Something is wrong with Grimshaw, hashtag going to his bedside. We fixed him with midnight with food. Hashtag midnight snack attack. We break Grimshaw's air fryer family heirloom. Hashtag gotta learn to cook with a stove or microwave. Hashtag seriously mukbang couple rising. Hashtag double fisting hot pockets. Hashtag Tostino's pizza roll party. Got woken up from food coma for battle games. Hashtag 10% discount. What was 10% discount? During the split up, go with Grimshaw. Hashtag bye bye Bingus. Hashtag probably gonna die. Cucumbers appear. Tell us cloppers for real, for real. Hashtag messy hotel. Rooms don't want to clean. Feel betrayed by Grimshaw. Hashtag not more snack times. Hashtag cucumber party. Get to battle games site. Set up for death. Hashtag survive. Bingus betrayed us, probably. Hashtag not even a penny for your thoughts. Hashtag kiss the boo-boo. Hashtag my sister in tech support. We're there in the land beyond the shadows, where monsters that dwelled in the night and dined on the souls of children who wandered too close to the woods. Hey, Allison, what's up? Okay. Chapter 36. Grimshaw hands Garrick the missive, and the rest of us rush to the battlements to see what we're up against, but I can't spot any threats in the valley below or the plains that stretch beyond for miles before the cliffs of Drowler. Something's off, Pete says. I felt it at the lake, but it's stronger here, and he didn't warn it at the lake. Can you pinpoint what it is? I reply as panic creeps into my throat. If Bingus's dad knows Grimshaw and the others have been supplying weapons to the Cucumber Flyer gamers, then there's every chance that this is an execution. It's coming from the valley below. I can't see shit down here, Bodhi says, leaning over the edge of the masonry. Well, I can, Liam replies. I've eaten so many goddamn carrots, it's not even funny. And if those are what I think they are, we are fucked. Oh no. Problem. Don't tell me what you think they are. Tell me what you are sure they are, Grimshaw orders. The letters say this is a test of your command. The section leader reads behind us. You have the choice of abandoning the village of our enemy or abandoning command of your wing. What the hell does that mean? Bodhi reaches back and takes the letter. They're testing our loyalty without actually saying it. Hey, Archon, what's up? Grimshaw folds his arms over his chest, standing by my side. According to the missive, if we leave now, we'll make it the new location of headquarters for 4th Wing at El Tuval in time to carry out the orders for the war games. But if we leave, the trading post of Resin and its occupants will be destroyed. By what? Imogen asks. Oh no. Cloppers. Liam responds. My stomach drops. You're positive? Grimshaw asks. Liam nods. As sure as I can be without actually having seen them before. 4 of them, purple robes, distended red veins spidering all around bright red eyes, huge helmets, and worst of all, man-made hoofs that they click together. Some of them are just carrying freaking coconuts cut in half, creepy as shit, with a smile plastered from ear to ear. I don't even think the smiles are real. Those might be fake too. Sounds about right. Start a mukbang series where you talk to the server members. But I talk to you anyway. Why do I need to be eating at the same time? Hey, Abigail! Cheetah Gale. I liked it better when we just delivered the weapons. Bodhi mutters. Oh, and one guy with a giant-ass staff. Liam continues, and I swear to Dune, 1 second the plane was clear and the next they were just there, walking toward the gates. His eyes were wide, the pupils blown out, the usage of his signet, his gamer words, was signet gamer, yes, gamer words at the bottom of the valley. Red veins? Imogen asks. Because the magic corrupts their blood as they lose their souls. Duh, are you uneducated? Monty! Cringing on the inside. I murmur, looking up at Grimshaw, wondering if he remembers what Kim said the night that we took the tunnel to the flight field. Nature likes everything in balance. Every head but Liam's swings in my direction. If the fables are true, at least, okay? It's not like I'm educated or anything on this. A part of me hopes that they are, or at least know next to nothing about the enemy below. Of course, if they're true. 7 cucumbers have landed next to us, Pete tells me. Everyone else stiffens, no doubt receiving the same message from their pickles. Kim, stay with Pete, I say. Grimshaw might trust the gamers, but Kim is damn near defenseless. All right? The guy with the staff just... Liam starts. An explosion sounds echoing up the sparsely tread valley, followed by a plume of blue smoke. My heart jolts at the sight. Those were the gates, he finishes. How many people live in Resin? Bodhi asks. More than 300. Imogen answers as another boom cracks through the valley. That's the post that they do the yearly trades at. Then let's get down there. Bodhi turns and Grimshaw steps back, blocking his path with an outstretched hand. Are you kidding me, right? We have no idea what they're walking into. Grimshaw's tone reminds me of what first day after the parapet. He's in full command mode. So we should just stand here while the civilians die? Bodhi questions, and I tense. We all do, watching Grimshaw. That's not what I'm saying. Grimshaw shakes his head. So, like, for this war game, they're, like, randomly killing a bunch of civilians that have nothing to do with any of this. So, like, you don't even have to go into the freaking battle military school. Just be a member of this freaking society and you'll get bombed while they're freaking training their people to fight for a war to save their people. Good to know. Why this country needs to be colonized. He has to choose. That's what the war game missive said. He can abandon that village or his command, who's now waiting for him at El Tuval. This isn't a fucking training exercise, Bodhi. Some, if not all of us, are going to die if we go down there. If we'd been assigned to an active wing, there would be a far older, more experienced leadership making this decision. But there aren't. If we weren't marked for the with the incel tattoos, if we hadn't been aiding the enemy, his eyes darted to mine briefly, we wouldn't even be here with this choice. So all command structure aside, what are your thoughts? We have the numbers, Solel said. Who the frick is Solel? Shit, that name has never come up before. We want more mukbangs. They're just the battle at the end is going to be a mukbang. It exploded during the the late night mukbang of 99. Narrowing her brown eyes on the field and tapping her bright green fingernails rhythmically on the stone crenellations of the battlement and air superiority. At least there aren't any Redditors. I scanned the skies just to be sure. What? Bodhi's eyebrows rise. Redditors. Fables say that cloppers created them to compete with pickles, and instead of channeling from them, channeling power into, oh no, cloppers channel power into Redditors. Let's hope that there is something in that book that isn't true. Yes, let's not borrow trouble. Grimshaw shoots a look sideways at me and then studies the sky. There are 4 cloppers and 10 of us, Garrick says, walking away from the edge of the battlement. We have the weapons to kill them, Liam says, and Day told me that 7 cucumber gamers. We're here, the older brunette from the lake says, striding down the battlement from the southeast corner of the post. I left the rest of the drift outside once we noticed that your outpost seems to be abandoned. She glances over at the rampart, at the clouds of smoke rising from the valley beneath with a look of resignation, her shoulders dripping. I'm not going to ask you to fight with us. You're not? Garrick's eyebrows raise. No, she gives him a sad smile. 4 of them is tantamount to a death sentence. The rest of my drift are making peace with our gods. She turns toward Grimshaw. I came to tell you to leave. You have no clue what they're capable of wielding. It only took 2 of them to bring down an entire city last month. 2 of them. We lost 2 drifts during the trying to stop them. If there are 4 down here, she shakes her head. They're after something, and they're going to kill every single person in Reston to get it. Take your riot and go home while you can. Fear squeezes in my chest, but my heart aches at the thought of leaving them to die. It goes against everything that we stand for, even if they aren't Navarian civilians. We have pickles, Imogene says, her pitch raising. Surely that has to count for something. We're not afraid to fight. Are you afraid to die? Have any of you seen combat? The brunette's gaze sweeps over us, and suddenly I feel young as we reply with our silence. They're not. Your pickles do count for something. They can fly as far and fast. Pickles fire doesn't hurt, doesn't kill them. Only the daggers that you've been bringing and those that we have. She looks at Grimshaw. Thank you for everything that you've done. You've kept us alive for the last couple of years and given us the fighting chance. There is no real dress code, maybe. Yeah, we just call him Grimshaw as a joke. He basically the same archetype. So we transplanted him. You're going down there to die, Grimshaw says, matter-of-factly. Also, the gods here are so flat. Yes, they are. Yes, she nods as another explosion sounds. Get your riot out of here fast. Pivoting on her heels, she strides back down the rampart, her head held high before she disappeared into the tower at the opposite end. Grimshaw's jaw clenched, and I can see the battle raging in his eyes. An unbearable heaviness settles into my stomach. If we leave, they'll all die. Every civilian, every gamer. We won't have killed them, but we'll have been complicit in their deaths all the same. If we fight, we'll likely die with them. We can live as cowards or we can die as gamers. Grimshaw's shoulders straighten, and the rock in my stomach turns to nausea. He's made a decision. I can see it in the lines of his face, the resolve in his posture. Hearteater says that she has never run from a fight, and today will not be the first, and I'm not going to stand by while innocent people are dying either. He shakes his head, but I'm not going to order any of you to join me. I am responsible for all of you. None of you have crossed that parapet because you wanted to. None of you. You crossed it because I made deal. I am the one who forced you into quadrants, so I don't think less of anyone who wants to fly for El Tuval. Make your choice. He tears his hand through his hair. I don't want you in harm's way. In a perfect world, that would be all that I needed to hear. If the others get to make a choice, then so do I. His jaw flexes. We're gamers, Imogene says as another explosion sounds. We defend the defenseless. That's what we do. What, you don't like the parapet? The tech is all over the place. You saved every single one of us here, cousin, Bodhi says, and we're thankful. Now I'd like to do what we've been trained for, and if that means that I don't go home, then I guess my soul will be commended to Malik. I wouldn't mind seeing my mother anyway. I tell you the same thing I did at the LAN party our first year when we decided to start smuggling weaponry out. Garrick says, you kept us alive all these years and we get to decide how to die. I'm with you. What are you doing? Exactly, Soleil says, drumming her fingertips just above the dagger sheath at her thigh. I'm in. Liam steps forward, so he stands at my side. We watched as our parents were executed because they had the courage to do the right thing. I'd like to think that my death would be just as honorable. My chest tightens. Their parents died to expose the truth, while mine sacrificed my brother to keep this heinous secret. Agreed. Imogene nods. They all do. One by one. He just destroyed it. One by one, everyone agrees until there's only me. Grimshaw captures my gaze. If you think that you'll ever convince a Sorengale to risk their neck for anyone outside of their borders, then you're a fool. Isn't that what the gamers said at the lake? Fuck that. Pete, it's not just me going to war. We will feast on their bones tonight, Silver One. Graphic, but point made. Hey, Bobby! Yes, that's exactly what it feels like, Allison. That's actually a great way to describe it. Fourth Wing, more like 4,000 pages without plot. Got him! That has 1500s tech. I will not leave innocent people to die, no matter what side of the border they live on. I will not let the squad mates risk their lives while I run, despite the plea I see in Grimshaw's eyes. At least Bongus, Sawyer, and Riddick aren't here. They'll live to be second years. Mira will understand. I have no doubt that she would do the same. As for Mom, the dagger on her desk. means that she knows and has done nothing to stop it. Guess that I'll be the second child she sacrifices to keep the existence of Cloppers a secret. I've been defenseless, I tell Grimshaw, and now I'm a gamer. Gamers fight. Gamers rise up. The others shout in agreement. 1,000 emotions cross his face, but Grimshaw only nods as he walks toward the battlements. Liam, give me the reports. His foster brother. His foster brother? Is that the first time it's said foster brother? His foster brother moves to his side and focuses. The Flyers are engaged, all 6 of them. Looks like they're trying to draw fire away from the civilians, but damn, the Cloppers are wielding a kind of fire that I've never seen among the gamers. 3 surround the city, and 1 is making its way toward the structure in the middle, a clock tower. Grimshaw nods and then divides us accordingly to objectives. Garrick and Solel will do a perimeter sweep for reconnaissance, while the rest of us target the Cloppers on various sides of the Resson, keeping an eye on the advance of the clock tower as we near in on each pass through the town. The only way to take them out is by dagger. That means that we'll have to dismount and fight once we get the townspeople to whatever safety we can find, Garrick adds, his face set in the grim lines. Don't throw your only weapons unless you're certain of your aim. Grimshaw nods. Save as many people as you can. Let's go. We make our way down the steps and through the silent courtyard. Grimshaw's leading the way, and we emerge from the outpost, our pickles wait, all perched on the edge of the ridge line, shifting their weight and agitation as they survey the trading post below. I walk directly between Pete and Heart Eater. I knew that you'd make the right choice, Heart Eater says, glancing toward where Grimshaw approaches with Liam, their steps dangerously close to the cliffside at my left. He did too. Even if he doesn't like putting yourself in danger, he knew that you would. Well, he knows me a great deal better than I know him. I lift brows at her. She blinks. You're a far cry from a trembling girl who stood in the courtyard and tried to mask her fear after parapet. I approve. I wasn't asking for your approval, you dumb pickle. If I'm going to die, I might as well be honest for at least my last moments. She chuffs and nudges Pete's head with hers, but he's solely focused on the trading post. The rocky terrain crunches under my boots as I walk beneath Pete to where Kim stands between his forelegs, watching the attack unfold beneath us. What are you doing? I put myself right in front of her, blocking her view of what is the carnage. Stay here and hide. I'm not taking a kid into battle, period. I mean, she's already there. Stay here, she grumbles, sarcastically in response. I bite back a sad smile. It's really too bad that I won't be able to go and see her go through her rebellious adolescent years. How does she feel okay with telling Kim what to do when every time anybody has told her what to do, she's been like, screw you, and hey, what's up, Phoenix? I miss the Hot Pockets. Well, nobody is hungry right now, okay? Agreed. Pete dips his shoulder for me. You're a target, little one. I mean it, I order Kim, stroking my hand over her scaly nose. If we're not back by morning, or if you think that Cloppers are approaching, you fly home to the Vale. Get behind the wards no matter what. Her nostrils flare. I'm not leaving ya. Oh, come on. She's got the time pause powers. My chest hurts so badly. I fight the urge to rub the area above my heart. She's getting heartburn from this. But I square my shoulders instead. Tatum. But I square my shoulders instead. It has to be said. What are you doing? Where's your ball? I understand. Where's the ball? What did you do with it? Where's the ball? There it is. He does demand to be heard. He's like, I will not be ignored. It's war. It's war. I thought you were dealing with pickles, you're dealing with borkles. I got heartburn. It must be my need for Hot Pockets. It has to be said. You'll feel the moment when you'll know that there is nothing to leave. And it might break your heart, but when you feel it, you fly. Just promise me that you'll fly, baby, fly. Heartbeats pass through before Kim finally nods. Go, I whisper, stroking her beautiful jaw one last time. She'll be fine. She'll make it back to the Vale, and I can't let myself believe any differently. She turns around and heads for the outpost, and I pull my shit together and walk between Pete's forelegs, taking one last quick look up at the valley. Grimshaw and Liam stand to my right, doing the same. A screech rends the air, and an enormous gray pickle emerges from the valley, 2 ridgelines to the south across from the Poromish border. It tucks its 2 legs up under its massive body as it flies away from us, heading straight for Ressin. We have a riot nearby? Liam asks. No, Grimshaw answers, it's as though the ground beneath us shifts. I could have sworn that I saw a riot of pickles across the border. Isn't that what Mira said in Monastrat? The pickle shrieks again, spewing a streak of blue fire and vinegar down the mountain, setting some of the smaller trees on fire before it reaches the plain where Ressin stands. Blue fire ignited by vinegar. No, no, no! Redditors. My heart launches into my throat. Grimshaw. It has 2 legs, not 4. It's not a pickle. It's a Redditor. Maybe if I say it a few more times, I will believe what I am seeing. Holy shit, is this what the leadership has been redacting? They're supposed to be a myth, not flesh and blood beings. But then again, so are the Cloppers. Well, there went our air superiority. Imogene says across from us, then shrugs. Fuck 'em. They can die too. There are also chocolate cakes in this world? Well. Yeah, pickle is a substitute for a dragon. They have created abominations, Pete says. A low growl rumbles in his chest. Did you know? I suspected. Why do you think that I've been so hard on you during flight maneuvers? How old is Pete and the other adult dragons that they don't know if the freaking Cloppers and Redditors are real? You and I are going to have to work on our communication skills, buddy. Guess we know all of the details now, Liam says. Anyone who wants to change their minds? Like, obviously, the leadership knew that these things were real, and it was written in their books that these things were real, but somehow Pete doesn't know that these things are real. They didn't pass that down in their telepathic dragon lore? What reason do the dragons have, the pickles, to hide this? Where obviously the humans are hiding it because it's a whole political intrigue thing, whatever. Which also doesn't make sense because it threatens their territory. What is the purpose? I don't know. Anyone wants to change their minds? Grimshaw asks down the line. None of us answer. No? Then mount up. I walk toward Pete's shoulder as Grimshaw strides over to me. Turn around, Pariah Patina, he orders, and I pivot, looking at him. He unsheaths one of his daggers and slides it into an empty slot in my ribs like that is some sort of pun, not metaphor. Sliding his knife into my sheath. Now you have 2. You're not going to lecture me about staying safe in that outpost? I ask, my emotions rioting at his nearness. He hid all of this from me, and yet my chest aches for just looking at him. If I asked you to stay behind, would you? No, exactly. I try not to pick fights that I know I can't win. My eyes flare. Speaking of knowing that you'll win a fight, General Melgren will know what happened here. He'll be able to see the outcome of the battle even now. He shakes his head slowly and points to his neck, the incel relic snaking around his throat. Do you remember how I told you I realized that this was a gift, not a curse? Yes? Just trust me. Because of this, Melgren can't see a fucking thing. My lips part, remembering Melgren saying that he liked to lay eyes on Grimshaw once a year. Any other secrets you're keeping from me? Yes. He cups my neck and leans into my space. Stay alive, and I promise that I'll tell you whatever you want to know. That sounds like a lie. Puff the magic dragon lived near the sea? Maybe. Hey, Riddy, what's up? The simple confession makes my heart clench. As angry as I am, I can't imagine a world without him in it. I need you to survive this, even if I hate that I still love you. I can live with that. I can live with that. A corner of his mouth lifts and he drops his hands and turns away from me, heading toward Heart Eater. Pete dips his shoulder again and I mount, settling into the saddle and strapping my thighs in after I secure my pack behind the seat. It's time. Find a good place, Kim. I can't stand the thought of you being hurt. Go for the throat, she says, walking into the abandoned outpost. Heart Eater launches to my right, and I hold on to the pommels tight when Pete springs skyward with great heavy beats of his wings. There is something in that trading post. We all feel it, Pete says as he banks with Heart Eater, plummeting into the ridgeline to a steep dive that leaves my stomach behind. The saddle straps dig into my thighs, but they do their job to keep me seated as I lower my riding goggles to shield my eyes from the wind. She waited until they take off to shield her eyes. Excuse me? We fly into the shade and sink in the sun, sinking behind the cliffs of Dralor and throwing the afternoon into shadow. Another explosion hits, this time taking out a chunk of the post's high stone walls as Pete pulls up, narrowly missing the cucumber gamers and bringing us level across the post, flying too fast to hear anything more than the screams of townspeople as they run through the streets, fleeing from the exodus of the post gates. Where did the Redditors go? I ask Pete. Returned into the valley. Don't worry, it'll come back. Oh, joy. Just what I wanted to hear. More good freaking news. Abigail wins. My gaze sweeps the rooftops as the little post until I see it. Well, whatever it is, there's a figure standing at the top of the wooden clock tower, wearing purple length robes that billow in the wind while he hurls blue flames like a dagger at these civilians below. He's got an ocarina and he keeps shaking his head from side to side as he taunts the moon. It's Skull Kid. He's more terrifying than any illustrator could have depicted. Rivers of red veins fanning in every direction around his soulless eyes that aren't even really his eyes. Consumed by magic, his face is gaunt with sharp cheekbones and thin lips, a gnarled hand gripping a long red cane made of some shapen wood. An ocarina. Lincoln Skull Kid. That's made up. I saw the clock tower with the guy on it and I thought of Skull Kid, so I threw it in there, okay? Pete! Yes, let's. Pete banks away from Heart Eater, pulling us in a hard turn and taking us into the village. A few beats of his wings later, fire streams from his mouth and he incinerates the clock tower on a flyby. Got him! I turn in the saddle, watching the wooden structure collapse in a blast. They're just gonna destroy this town. They're like, you know what? You want me to make things up and refuse to tell you if it's fake? I can do that. They're like, we need to stop the bad guys from destroying the town, but also let's just us destroy the town. You want Happy Mask Salesman to slap the out of Parapatina? It could happen. We have time. It's only a matter of time before the cloppers walk out of their flames, though, and there isn't a scratch on him. Oh, fuck, he's still here. I call out as we cut across the posts to get to our assigned area, mentally kicking myself for thinking that it could have been that simple. There's a reason that these creatures are what make up most of Navarian's nightmare stories, and it isn't because they're easy to kill. We have to be close enough to get a dagger in him. I turn forward just in time to see a giant mass of wings and teeth cut across our path with an ear-splitting screech, and Pete's tail smashes into a stone wall behind me, knocking a masonry loose as he dodges a redditor. We just barely evaded the hissing curl of his blue fire that streams from its mouth, along with all of his calls of moderation, moderation, you're gonna be banned, moderation, catching a nearby tree on fire with his rage. The redditor is back. That's a different one. Pete barks. I'm relaying orders to the others. No, it's what you feel? It could be. Of course he is. Grimshaw might command the gamers on the field, but Pete is clearly leading the pickles. The redditor swings around and heads toward the town's center, tucking up two legs and beating the spider-webbed wings. It bears a female gamer in a maroon flight gear that resembles our own, and her eyes are the same eerie red as the clopper at the clock tower, as freaking Majora was at the clock tower. Grimshaw, there's more than one of the redditors. There's a moment of silence, but I can feel Grimshaw's palpable shock and then rage. If you get separated from Pete, call out and then fight until I get there. No chance of that happening. I'm not letting her off of my back. Oh, I'm not letting her off of my back, Nutbuster. Pete growls as I get my first good look at the airspace above the city, flooded with pickles, cucumbers, and redditors, just like the creation fable. Solel found a seal entrance to what looks like a mine, Grimshaw says. I needed. Pete turns, abruptly veering toward the mountain. You have to see it if you can put some cover so that Garrick and Bodie can get the townspeople evacuated. Liam is on his way. On it, my pulse leaps. Pete, I can't aim. You will, he says, like a foregone conclusion. Orders are being dispersed amid the cucumbers. Pickles can speak cucumber? We're basically the same breed. Naturally, we can do that. How do you think that we've communicated before humans even got evolved? It's because pickles and cucumbers are basically the same thing. We just rest and wash in vinegar. Do you not understand? This is what actually caused Redditors to stop eating pickles and cucumbers. They just do the Cheetos dust. Phoenix, cucumbers, or griffins? I hunker down across his neck as we dart above the city, passing over a clinic and what looks like a happy mask shop, and rows and rows and rows of open-air markets and people dancing and looking at the moon like they're frightened of something falling on top of them. But it's only a couple of dragons. Why do they keep looking at the freaking moon? There's a sign of a purple-robed clopper that we first saw as we sailed over the shriveled body of the cucumber and its gamer near the center of town. My stomach turns, especially when I see a redditor circling back toward them, and Heart Eater is on the intercept course. She can hold her own, Pete reminds me, and so can he. We have our orders. Focus. Focus, right. We pass families scurrying from their ruined homes and then over the city walls, heading toward the opening of the opening side of the mountain where Solel's brown club tail swings its tail into the wood planks covering the abandoned tunnel. There are a few outbuildings lining the road, but not much else. Pete pulls hard to the left as we approach, the strap digging into my legs as my weight shifts in the saddle with an abrupt motion. Then he flares his wings to hover in front of Solel, racing resin and screaming crowd that runs the hundreds of yards between the city walls and us, led by a pair of cucumbers and their gamers who continuously look behind them, scanning the skies. And what they don't see is the cloppers striding our way from the north gate, watching the crowd's movements with a narrow red gaze. The veins on both sides of his eyes, of her eyes, were more pronounced. Excuse me? Than the earlier gamers, and her long blue robes remind me of the staff bearer who survived the clock tower blast. I already told Phil. She'll protect Solel, Pete says, angling toward the threat. Get us away from the crowd. This is, you know what's more dumb about this? Is because they all have telepathy, they're basically like, look, we're fighter jets. We just talk via our intercom system, even though we don't have intercom systems. Get us away from the crowd. Power already sizzles beneath my skin. A child stumbles on the dirt road, and my heart lurches as her father scoops her into her arms and continues to sprint. Day passes, and I see him land out of the corner of my eye as I lift my arms and I let my power rip free, focusing on the cloppers. Lightning cracks. A section of the city wall crumbles. Fuck! Keep going. Day says that they need more time, Pete urges. I make the mistake of turning in the saddle, noting that both Liam and Solel are unseated, ushering the townspeople into the mine, while Day and Fuel, is this the cousin of Diesel? Guards separate sides of the evacuation path. If anything happens, if one of those Redditors circling the town decides to take notice, they're vulnerable. But so are the people that they are protecting. A trio of cucumbers flies in, all three dangling townspeople from their vines and dropping them off on the entrance to the mine and looping back around for another run. Energy rips through me as I aim to bolt the cloppers. This one shattering on outbuilding along the hillside to our right. Boards split, then the wood flies as it collapses. The clopper's attention whips upward and my stomach twists when she spots me. There's pure malice in her red eyes as she reaches forward with her left hand and then flips it, fisting the air with her middle finger high as the bird reaches for the sky. Rocks tumble down the mountainside. Solel throws up both hands, stopping the slide before it can crush the people running into the mine below. Her arms shake, but the boulders fall on either side of the evacuation path, leaving the escape clear. I whip back toward the clopper and gasp. Raw power is palpable in the air, lifting the hairs on my arms as the cloppers stand with her palms toward the ground. The grass round her turns brown. Then the flowers of the wild clover bushes wilt and the leaves curl, losing their color. Pete, is she? Channeling, he growls. I fling another flare of energy at the blight spreads outward from the clopper, as though she is draining the very essence of the land, but it hits too close to the road and it's staggering, racing toward safely for my comfort. Watch out. Day says that the building on the other side of the road has a crate of something marked with Liam's family crest, Pete tells me as I fire off another blast that lands nowhere near the clopper. He says it's highly unstable. He finishes, pausing as he relays the information. Not worried about the building, I reply as the circle of death expands under Pete's beating wings and I draw more power from Pete, poising to strike again. Solel charges toward the clopper and Fuel on her heels, her dagger palm and ready as the rest of the group of townspeople make it into the tunnel. This is all worth it as long as they survive. The wave of death pushes forward from the clopper, flowing outward and catching up with the fleeing civilians in the middle of the road. He falls and then screams soundlessly, curling in on himself as his body becomes nothing but a husk of a shell. Air freezes as my lungs and heart stutter. The clopper just Solel! I yell, but it's already too late. The third year stumbles a few steps into the dead zone, her pickle reaching for her as they both buckle and fall, Fuel throwing up a cloud of dirt with her heavy impact. They dissipate in a matter of seconds, their bodies shriveling, the vice clumps around my chest. And for a second, I can't breathe. The clopper has even more power now. Tell Day! I look back over my shoulder to see Liam sprinting for Day. He needs time. Already done. Pete rolls left as the fireball churns up at us. The first of the volley that causes us to retreat across the street. We lost Solel, I tell Grimshaw. The only acknowledgement is a wave of sorrow, and I know it's his. The cucumbers take flight. Well, I mean, like, we knew that Solel was going to go because it was like, who the frick is Solel? The cucumbers take flight, and their gamers wielding what looks like lesser magic at the cloppers as the two Redditors approach, both gamerless. Tell them to change tactics. They don't stand a chance if they can't get close to the cloppers. I tell Pete. I feel like that you need mods. It's we actually need to change the Venom to mods so that the mods control the Redditors. Or we can have the Redditors. Good night, Reaver. You can have the Venom be the Redditors. And the Wyverns, which are the creatures that are deriving power, be the mods. Because the Redditors derive power from them. This makes more sense. Exactly, Reddit mods. Hey, Mike. They don't stand a chance if we can't get near. Okay, no, we need, okay, it's the mods need to be the Venons. Because if you kill the mods, then the Wernin, I don't know. I honestly don't know. If they can't get close to that mod, I tell Pete. We'll figure it out. Hey, Kyle. The cucumber changes course, and I lose power again, hitting closer to the mod. She glares at me, and then she turns at the sound of flapping wings. Garrick and the others, marked third years, are coming. She's outnumbered, and damn, I hope that she knows it. The cucumbers team up, tearing into one of the approaching Redditors as Liam mounts and Day launches, escaping the spreading wings of death, but the other Redditor dips low, heading for the mod, right on course to pass by the outbuilding. You said that building was unstable materials in it, right? I ask. Yes. I can't be sure I'll hit it, but excellent idea. Pete puts us into position, hovering about 20 feet above ground as Liam flies for the cucumber above us, wielding spears of ice into the injured Redditor's throat. Blood streams as the Redditor falls from the sky with an ear-piercing scream. One down. The mod reaches the road, and the Redditor skids to a landing on the dirt path so that she can land. Now, I shout. Pete breathes in deep and exhales pure fire as the Redditor takes off, sending. Adults have shown up. Sending the outbuilding up in a blaze that ignites whatever is within. Heat rushes my face, singeing my cheeks and my eyebrows off as the building explodes. I hope I don't look like a freak because that's all that I'm thinking as the building is engulfed in everything and I can't feel half of my face. The firestorm nearly catches us, but Pete banks left, narrowly missing the blast. I shout, throwing up my fist as we circle back and the wind is erasing the sting in my cheeks. We have one Redditor down, and a good share of the townspeople people evacuated, except for that happy mask shop bastard, because he's creepy as hell and he won't sell me anything. And there's no way that anything survived that blast, except for maybe those wearing the nuclear jackets, and somehow also the happy mask shop guy, because he doesn't die. Pete dips his right wing low, and we turn sharply, getting set up to make another run through the town. I glance to the right and gasp. Not only did the blast not kill the Redditor, but its gamer is alive and well too, flying upward. Shit, shit, shit. Those are not strong enough gamer words. There are more Redditors than Pickles exiting the valley to the south, and I'm trying hard not to panic when the blazing hot blue fire streams past us. I pivot in the saddle to see the Redditor on our tail approaching frighteningly fast as we circle the post walls. Any idea how to kill any of these Redditors? I ask Pete, panic setting in on my chest like an anchor that threatens to pull me under into the chaos of my thoughts. There are at least 6 Redditors, from what I can see, all of them with terrifying wingspans and sharp teeth, and they're heading straight for us. The same methods that can kill us, Pete says, leading the Redditor away from the post's center, where Garrick and Bodhi are both on foot, chasing down the mods from the clock tower. They're manhandling the mod, okay. Another one gets offended and takes its place. That's true, Kyle. I don't exactly have a crossbolt handy. No, but you do have lightning, and the bolt of that will stop a Pickle's heart. Tell me that you warned the others how Solel and Fool died. Everyone touching the ground is vulnerable. They all know what they risk. Gods, there are still kids down there, some screaming, others heartbreakingly silent as their mothers drag their bodies from the streets. There are no words. We need to draw them away from the city, I tell Grimshaw, turning back in the saddle as far as the bands across my thighs will let me to get a better vantage point of the airspace and the Redditors, some of which seem to have slowed in order to circle the remains of the clock tower. Whatever they want must be there, Pete says. Agreed on both counts. Do what you can to give us the rest of the time to evacuate. Oh, do what you can to give us the rest time to evacuate, Grimshaw responds. We're clearing the edge of town now. He pauses, and a ripple of worry pushes through our emotional barrier. Just try not to die. Working on it. A Redditor dives only to climb again with a human leg hanging from between its teeth. We chuckle back. Somebody forgot to feed the Redditors? We circle back and then head south through the trading post, away from the city's center and whatever Bodhi and Garrick are doing. They're not following, Pete grunts. We'll need to draw them out. That mod didn't seem like that when I was wielding lightning. You're a threat. So let's get their attention and threaten, girl. He growls in approval. I open the floodgates of Pete's power, letting it roil and billow beneath my skin. All of a sudden, it doesn't seem to matter that she said that there was a limited amount of power that they could use. Now she has unlimited power. As soon as we're outside the walls, I throw my hands up and let it all burst free, singing. Hey, Polly! Nice. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Yeah, that's what she's doing. As her summoning song. Lightning streaks the sky, earning us the notice of the horde of Redditors, one of which peels off its flight pattern and soars in our direction, its poisoned barbed tail flickering behind it. Maybe this wasn't the best idea? We're committed now, Pete reminds me. Right. They're finally outside of the city walls, and I summon more power and wield. My arms are trembling with the effort to control the deluge of raw energy. Lightning strikes once, missing the Redditors by more than I'd like to admit. Dread fills my mouth with the taste of ash, and I'm not ready for this. Try again. I don't have enough control. Try again. Peripatina. I wheeled again, ripping down the walls between Pete and me, and more of the energy that he channels rips through me. Lightning splits the sky-hued sky in a blast of bright pink, and I imagine myself the air fryer family heirloom that belongs to Grimshaw, filled with too many hot pockets, working way too hard so late at night that it exploded against his bedroom window, and I am that air fryer. Again, Pete says. I let the power overcome me again and again, concentrating on the location of the redditor of my hot pocket powers, of my inner hot pocket, and the warmth as it replaces my heart. Pete dodges blasts of fire. Finally, I strike hits the one behind us, dropping him from the sky with a heart attack induced by my hot pocket heart. It hits the hillside with a satisfying crash. Not the air fryer. Toasty! What about the mods that it's bonded to? I tremble with the effort of controlling the power, fighting to keep them from overtaking me. Sweat drips down my face. Hopefully they're like us. Kill the redditor and the mod dies. Because the mod doesn't have anything to moderate if the redditors die. But it's hard to tell with so many gamerless ones. Hopefully, this is the best. This hopefully isn't the best word right now. Wait, is that what you were saying? Where your floof butt at? Where are you, Toasty? What is your character is the question. So, did we need to fix your character? Toast is frozen? Oh, okay. Excuse me? Oh, what were you, Toasty? What can I make you? That is the question. Because I know that you were not this creature before. Wait, that is what I want. I don't want it. Toasty was always Yoshi? Was she? Okay. I was not sure. Then I will leave you alone. Fair. I just wanted to make sure. I turn in the saddle and watch in thank you. And watch in horror as two more gamerless redditors fly out of the valley. The civilians need more time to reach the mine. Let's give it to them. Pete growls in agreement, and we speed back over the post. Grimshaw has one redditor by the throat, strangling it with a shadow as a third year hurls ice at its gamer, and the other four are doing everything that they can to drive the newcomers back with a combination of pickle, fire, and magic. Didn't they say that they needed to stab the redditors with their freaking special knives? So why are they bothering with hurling with ice when they've got one in their clutches? Power jolts through me in a wave after burning wave as I wield more hot pocket power than I ever have in practice. I swing my arms around and aim another blast of cheese and sauce at a redditor flying near the front gate and what used to be the front gate. I used the redditor and hit I missed the redditor and hit an empty tower, sending stones flying in all directions, a large chunk hitting the redditor in the tail and causing it to spin in midair, screaming in lava-hot burning pain as any hot pocket would feel. Mike, no! Pete banks another hard turn as we come back around. Why would you ask your child to read this when it's bad? Pete banks another hard turn, and we come back around. I take a deep breath and then call a lightning bolt. This one striking the Redditor directly in its upper back with a satisfying sizzle. The giant beast shrieks and then smashes into a nearby hillside with a thunderous boom. Coming back around again for another pass and a heady from my recent kill, I throw out 3 more bolts of lightning in quick succession. Unfortunately, more speed doesn't translate into more accuracy, and the adrenaline rush isn't helping my aim either. I managed to cause 3 more alarming explosions of gooey hot pocket innards, though, one of which distracts a large Redditor that had been on Bodhi's tail, giving him a moment's advantage, which his pickle seizes by banking hard left and coming up behind the Redditor and sinking its teeth into its leathery gray neck. There's an ominous crack, and then Bodhi's pickle releases the Redditor's lifeless body, letting it fall to the ground 50 feet below. On the left, I shout as 2 more Redditors come into view of our rear flank. I leave the evasive maneuvers up to Pete and concentrate on bringing down as many strikes as possible as the Redditors gain speed on us. My arms tremble, growing weaker and weaker with each bolt, and I try to control to keep from hitting our own gamers. Heart Eater is on the east side of the post, and my heart crawls into my throat when she flies low, and Grimshaw does an impressive running jump off of her back, landing with a roll into the streets below. Almost immediately, shadows pull in every direction and cover the people, screaming as they try to run for cover from the snarling jaws of a hungry Redditor. One of the Redditors on my tail must notice Grimshaw out of his saddle because it tucks its wings for a moment, diving for the ground only to widen them and pull out at the last minute, gliding mere feet above the silky shadows. Shit. It's heading straight for Grimshaw, its jaw opening wide as though it plans to just snatch Grimshaw up like a quick bite to eat. Grimshaw! I scream as loud as I can, but he's already noticed the Redditor throwing a rope of shadows high above the building in a perfect lasso around Heart Eater's head, and she yanks him off of the ground and out of the path of the oncoming Redditor. 1 minute, Grimshaw is dangling from the shadow rope, and the next he's back in his saddle as Heart Eater banks for another low pass through town. But I was so focused on Grimshaw that I completely forgot about the Redditor on my own tail. Pete hasn't, though, and starts to climb higher and higher, leading the Redditor from post as he gains altitude nauseatingly fast. Pariah patina! Grimshaw screams. Beneath you! I look down and gasp. A stream of blue fire billows up toward us. Bank! Pete rolls left and my ass leaves the saddle, held in only by the straps as he rolls upside down to narrowly avoid the blast. But then he straightens. The Redditor is still on us. My heart lurches into my throat and its mouth gapes open, its sharp, bloodied teeth snapping as it lunges for Pete's side. No! I lift my arms and throw hot pocket beams into its direction, preparing for impact. A blur of blue, red, and cheese shoots out between us, and the Redditor is knocked away from the body of a navy pickle Heart Eater. Her jaw tears through the side of the Redditor in several rapid, brutal bites, flesh ripping and blood spraying in the most vicious mid-ear meal I have ever seen. Then she flips and catches and devours the Redditor by the head with her dragon dagger tail, sending its dead body sailing several hundred feet before crashing to the ground. Heart Eater picks up speed, banks, and flies right by us, her wings gliding under Pete's almost affectionately, which is in complete contrast to the menacing glare that seems directed at me. Redditor blood still dripping from her jaw. Message received. It's her job to keep an eye on Grimshaw's back, and mine is to watch Pete. I do a quick turn in my saddle, checking all sides for more Redditors, then tell Pete, let's climb so that we can get a better count of what we're facing. We've barely made it 100 feet above the town when I spy Liam and Dave flying hard and fast in the opposite directions of the mods riding the Redditors on his tail. Liam, Liam needs our help, I rush to explain. On it, Pete says, flipping us in midair. We hang in the sky for a second before his massive wings catch the air and turn us so that we're heading straight for Liam. The Redditor, the mod, raises a staff of some sort, sending balls of blue flames and bands at Day, but he manages to avoid them all as Liam stands up and runs along Day's spine toward the dagger tail. At the last second, Day uses his tail to whip Liam up into the air toward the Redditor. I don't even have time to scream before he lands in the crouch in front of on the Redditor's rear and pulls out one of the ruined daggers like the two Grimshaw gave me. The mods whip around, raising his staff, but Liam is brutally fast and slits the mod's throat with sickening precision. The Redditor stops beating its wings, and within seconds, its heavy body free falling to the ground, and Liam leaps from its back just as Day flies beneath, easily catching him. A Redditor flies at us from the left, approaching to get great with its great beats of its wings. Pete! Power fills my veins, and I lift my hands, but Pete rolls, flipping my world upside down as he rakes his claws and his Morningstar tail along the Redditor for the throat to tail, splitting it open in midair and then leveling out the Redditor's streak of bloody path to the ground. The rush in my head is a result of more than Pete's acrobatics. For the first time since we agreed to try and defend the civilians in this trading post, since we were told that there were 4 mods and no way that we could win, a little bit of the panic sitting in my chest starts to ease. We might actually be able to survive today. Maybe. Just then, another Redditor drops out of a cloud above us, diving as Pete's gaining speed, and it tucks its wings, becoming a teeth-tipped spear. There's no time for evasive maneuvers. It's seconds away, but red fills my vision, and Day is there, driving into the side of this massive gray beast. There's no breath of relief as the collision sends Liam hurling off Day's back and across the base of Pete's neck at a breakneck speed velocity. Violet! Liam! I catch his scrambling hands as he slides by and holds on, a cry escaping as my shoulders pop and subluxate from the strain of catching his weight, and Pete pitches in a sharp turn to follow Day. Why don't they all have saddles? If it's so easy for them to just fly off and they want to stay on the thing the entire time, they should all have saddles, not just her. Imagine eating sunscreen. Excuse me? Imagine not needing sun. Imagine not bringing in the sun. Got him. Grimacing, Liam crawls forward on his elbows despite the impossible angle and then grasps the pommel of the saddle. I throw myself over at him, sheltering his head and holding on with everything that I have as Pete rolls and banks to keep close but clear as a Day in the massive gray Redditor lock in battle only a few feet away, their talons shred through the scales and other amid snapping teeth and Day's catastrophic roars of pain. They're too close for me to act, and there's no guarantee that I'll even hit the Redditor and not Day with my pizza pocket hot pocket sauce attack. There's nothing that I can do but secure Liam. Grabbing the lap belt that I never use, I wind it around Liam's torso and buckle it. That should hold you until we can get back to Day, but I can't wield without hitting him. I yell as wind whips around us. The agony in his eyes steals my breath. Why did you do that? I cry, my fingers searching for purchase on his leather to pull him closer. I settle back off his collar and yank. Why would you risk it? Gods, if anything happens to them. His gaze collides with mine. The thing was going to take a chunk out of Pete. You've saved my life, and now it's my turn. No matter what you think of me for keeping secrets, we're friends, Peripatina. Response is impossible as Pete rolls again, lifting Liam's entire body, and the leather belt slips to just under his arms. I fist my hands in the back of his flight leathers, but there's not much to grab onto. Heartbeats pass and I can't breathe. I can't think past the desperation to keep Liam safe until Pete levels out again, trying to stay as close as he can today without risking any of us in the process. But then these screams slice me into the bone as the two lock into a dive. Hey, Grumble, congratulations. Can't you do anything? I say to Pete in his absolute selfishness and not helping that other pickle. Working on it, he pitches right and plummets, positioning himself around the downward spiraling duel to strike. It should be us fighting for our lives, not Liam and Di. Oh, gods. Di is losing, which means Liam. My throat constricts. No, it's not gonna happen. Get over here. Get over here, I shout at Grimshaw. Energy crackles through my hands, but there's no clear target. They're moving too fast. I'm hunting the mod at the walls, he answers. Day is fighting for his life. Don't you care, you heartless bastard. The heartbeat of terror squeezing my chest like a vice isn't mine. It's Grimshaw's. If I leave, these civilians all die. We're on our own. A quick glance at the field tells me every other pickle is locked into its own battle, and I am the only hope, but I'm only 19 years old. How can you do this to me? Pete's tail swings out, slamming into the Redditor's hindquarters and comes away bloody, but that fucking thing doesn't release Day. Its claws flex, burrowing deeper beneath the red scales. Alex did it. What did Alex do? Not even the outage. Hey, what's up, Tris? Glad to see you. You explode. Are you talking about how all of you were just giant? Is that what Alex did? Good luck, Bobby. Pete's tail swings out, slamming into the Redditor's hindquarters and comes away bloody, but the fucking thing won't release Day. Its claws facts burrowing deeper beneath the red scales. Die! Liam is screaming, is raw, and his voice breaks at the end. Pete lunges, snapping at the Redditor's shoulder and drawing blood, but it's not enough. He swings around to get a better angle on the Redditor, and the force nearly costs Liam his grip, but he buckle holds. Another gamerless Redditor flies at us from the right. On the right! Oh, is Abby going? Good luck in getting a higher credit score. What? Pete whips his body faster than I'd ever felt and rips out of the throat of the new threat, shaking the Redditor like a doll, and then releases his jaw and lets the thing fall hundreds of feet to the mountainside below. Yeah, Vanya, what did you do to the credit score? Squeeze us? Then Pete dives to catch up with Day and the Redditor as they race toward the ground. Dread settles in my chest, ominous and heavy. We're on our way, Grimshaw says, but it'll be too late. Peripatina! Liam shouts over the wind, and I rip my attention away from the gruesome battle alongside us as we spiral downward. We have to take out the riders. I know, and we shall. He just needs to hang on. They both do. No, I mean that's the... Pete lunges again, and we're thrown sideways as he rips another hole in the wyvern's... in the redditor's wings with his teeth, raking down its tail with its talons. But the creature has Day in a deathlock. Its wings are shredded now, but it doesn't seem to care as its claws dig into Day's underbelly like it's willing to mindlessly die to make the kill. It's going to be all right, I promise Liam, with stinging in my cheeks, knowing the lie that I'm already telling. It has to be all right, even though the ground rushes at us, closer and closer. Each second it just has to be. Day screams again, the sound weaker and higher pitched than the last. It's a cry. We have to pull up, Pete warns. He's dying. Liam lunges across Pete's back, reaching for his pickle as if he can touch that red dagger tail one last time. Just hold, I start, but Dee's shriek of pain closes my throat, strangling the words. He's being eviscerated, and there's nothing that we can do, the Redditor roars into victory, a heartbeat before they crash into the hillside. With a sickening thud, the Redditors limp away as it on its hinged legs and the talons that tip its wings. Day doesn't move. They're fighting, Tris. That's all that's happening is they fighting. Excuse me? You have to go to work soon. Good luck, Alex. I hope work is fulfilling. Liam's raw screams shatter my heart, and Pete flares his wings, banking hard to keep us from the same gruesome fate. Day! Pete's grief blasts through my body as he streams fire at the Redditor, retreating back, and Kim's cries fill my head. No, if Day... Is he? I can't bring myself to finish. He's gone. Pete reverses course, barreling on the hillside outside of the city walls where Day has fallen. No, 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 that means Liam! I grab from my friend as we land at speed, and Pete's claws digging into the ground to stop us close to Dee's body. You only have minutes, Pete warns. Day, whispers Liam, falling limp against Pete's back. What? How do these pickles keep choosing different riders if they die when the pickles die? If the riders die, if the pickles die when the riders die, or is this just like you only are dying if you are a pickle gamer, but it only goes one way? So if the pickle dies, then the gamer dies, but not if the gamer dies, then the pickle dies. But that doesn't work because they've said that if Peripatina dies, then her pickle dies, and then Heart Eater will be angry. How? There should be no pickles because all of their gamers have died. And then they become a new one. Pete is still alive, yes. Right now, Day is dying. And Day is Liam's pickle. I'll get you to him, I promise, already fumbling with the strap buckle. Day's gone, I cry to Grimshaw, my voice trembling mess. Liam is dying. No, I feel his terror, his sorrow, his overpowering anger wrap around my mind, mixing with my own until it hurts to breathe. Minutes. We have minutes. Just hold on, I whisper to Liam, fighting to cry as he looks up at me with those sky blue eyes wide with shock and pain after everything that Liam has given for me. This is the least that I can do for him. I can get him today the same way that I know that he would carry me to Pete and Kim. Pete lies down completely, flattening his massive frame until he's basically as skinny as a piece of paper. Then I wrap my arms around Liam's bulky frame and carry him off of Pete's tarp-shaped body, hitting Our feet on the rocky hillside from the trading post. I also hope your internet gets better. A day lies a couple of dozen feet. I'm glad that all of the action has stopped just for these two to, go over to their dying friend. I'm glad that it helps make it better. The day lies a couple of dozen feet away from the body, his body folded at an unnatural angle. This isn't fair. This isn't right. Not Day, not Liam. Oh gods, why is the world so unfair? They're the strongest of our year. They're the best of us. What will I do to keep myself from being alone with Grimshaw if Liam is dead? I can't make it, Liam says, stumbling forward and tripping. I rush to catch him as he goes down, but his substantial weight is too much for me, and we both fall to our knees. We can make it, I force out through my tightened throat, trying to hook an arm around his shoulder. Buddy, we're so close. I can get you there. If Ahmad comes along, then I'll deal with it. Don't die on me. We can't. He crumbles against me, sliding down my side as I fall back onto my heels, and his head lands into my lap as his body goes limp like a noodle that's been in water for too long. He's squishy and the kind of noodle that nobody would want to eat. It's not even a la carte. It's all right, Perpetina. It has gone on for way too long. He says, looking up at me, and I shove my goggles on top my head so I can see him clearer. He's struggling to breathe. It's not all right. I want to scream with the injustice of it, but it won't help. My hand trembles as I slide his riding goggles up onto his face, and then I brush his blonde hair back. I reach into my pocket and I say, Sir, would you like a hot pocket? None of this is okay. Please stay. I will give you 2 hot pockets if you just don't close your eyes. At the parapet, his face twisted into pain. You have to take care of my sister. Liam, no. What if I gave you 3 hot pockets? I have so many. I went to Costco. I have basically 30 in my freezer. I might only have 5 in my rucksack, but there are 30 in my freezer, Liam. Don't go and I will give you all of them. Do you like the ham and cheese hot pocket? I got those too. I choke the words as tears clog my throat. You'll be there. You'll be there when I microwave all of my hot pockets. Who are you people? Yes, he is dying because of whatever happened, because his pickle got slapped. And apparently they are all connected. I don't know. We don't know who his sister is. I don't think she's in this school yet. I think she's coming probably in the next book, I would guess. You have to be there for your sister. You have to watch the Hot Pockets together. You have to be there. He has to smile at his sister that he's missed for years and flash that dimple of a face. He has to give her a stack of letters that he's written. He deserves it after all that he's been through. He doesn't deserve the Hot Pocket heart attack. Can't die on me. Pete, I cry. Pete, tell me what to do. There's nothing that you can do, Silver One. His stack of lettuce. His stack of lettuce. Too many EP people. Yeah, wake up, EP people. We both know that I won't make it. That I can't eat another Hot Pocket. Just promise me that you'll take care of Sloane. He begs, his eyes searching mine as he breathes, breaths go ragged. Promise. I promise. I'll feed her every last one of the Hot Pockets that you've left behind. He's dying. And there's nothing that I can do. Nothing that anyone can do. How can all of this power be so fucking useless? Where is my healing pocket power? Brennan! The pulse under my thumb slows. Good. That's good. Just remember, she doesn't like the sausage hot pockets. He forces a smile. That dimple makes a faint appearance before his expression falters. And I know that you feel betrayed, but Grimshaw needs you. He needs your help, eating late into the night and talking about Warhammer 40k. Man, that bastard loves Warhammer 40k. More than you can even imagine. You think he has a bunch of minis at the academy? Wait until you see what his room looks like back at home. What a fucking nerd. Peripatina. What I'm saying is he needs you. He doesn't have a lot of friends. So please, hear him out, or he will become a 40k recluse. And that's almost as dangerous as a brown recluse. Do you know what a brown recluse is? Oh, right, you don't have to convince me anymore. I nod, fighting to force the watery smile back. He could ask for anything right now, and I would give it to him. Thank you, Liam, for being my shadow. Thank you for being my friend, for being my side snack. He blurs my vision with tears come faster. It's been my honor. Liam's chest rattles as his lungs struggle. A gust of wind blows the loosened strands of my braids back in my face. Seconds later, I feel Grimshaw racing towards us, a torrent of his emotions overwhelming me like a bucket of water splashing on me at the start of a flash dance. No, Liam. Grimshaw chokes as he crouches in front of us, the muscles in his face working to control his expression, but there's no hiding the despair that pushes out of our mental connection. Day, Liam pleads in a strangled whisper, turning his head toward Grimshaw. I know, brother. Grimshaw's jaw flexes and our gazes lock above Liam's as tears flow from my face. I know. He leans forward and lifts Liam into his arms and then stands carrying him. I will take you to my sister, the life-sized microwave, and there you can be tucked into the largest hot pocket and warmed, laid to rest, surrounded by burning hot lava cheese and sauce. Just like you've always wanted. I needed to avoid the chat, so I didn't laugh in the middle of that. You want to slap her? Fair. I also flex my jaw to get that manly shape. He slowly walks across the gravelly terrain. You can. Okay, here. I've got this. Oops, that is not what I meant to do. Okay. Sorry, Tatum. I'm not trying to disturb you. It's fine. He just sees me moving. I didn't try to disturb him, and I just made it worse. It's fine. I just dropped my headset. What's a life-size microwave profit? Okay, can we hit? Yes, no. Okay. All of that just for that question. I'm sorry. It is now up to you. We both know that I won't. Just promise that you'll take care. Oh. He walks slowly across the gravelly terrain to Day's body, saying things that I can't hear from where I kneel, the rocks digging into my knees through the fabric of my leathers as I watch Grimshaw say goodbye. Grimshaw lowers Liam, sitting setting him against Day's unblemished shoulder, and then kneels beside him, nodding slowly at whatever Liam has said. A cry of a redditor splits the air above us, going, "Little, little, 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 little." Oh, you gotta say, "Leroy Jenkins." And I look up instinctively. A cloud of flapping gray wings moves toward us from higher up in the valley. Redditors, dozens and dozens of Redditors. It's like a Redditor convention. Look up at the valley. Liam's head rolls slowly as they both look up. Grimshaw's head bows, and my breath freezes in my lungs as shadows momentarily whip around him like a blast of menace and sorrow. Congratulations, Abigail, Star Queen. That's Abigail's YA name, BT Dubs, and since she's got a full YA name, Abigail Star Queen, it means that she can be romanced by a typical YA boyfriend. I'm just saying. Seconds later, his soundless, soul-rending scream fills my head with such force that my heart shatters like glass against the stone floor. I don't need to ask. Liam, he's gone. Well, you know, her last YA boyfriend didn't exactly work out. About 2 versus 12 a dozen dragons, right? Gus. Liam, who never complained about being my shadow, never hesitated to help, never bragged about being the best of our year, he died protecting me. Oh, gods. And I just asked him if he'd really been friends an hour ago. Just one of those beasts managed to kill my friends. What the hell can that many accomplish? A bloodied Redditor dives for us, and Pete throws his wings over me. I hear the sound of his teeth snapping and a sharp cry above me before the wings react. We're targets on the ground, Pete says as the Redditor flies away. Then let's be the ones to hunt. I stumble to my feet in time to see Grimshaw running my way. Pariah Patina! Grimshaw grasps my shoulder, determination lining his features. Liam told me to tell you that there are 2 gamers with that horde. It's okay, we can cut your legs off at the ankle. We can shorten you up a couple of inches to make you perfection. We can send you to Model Land to become a perfect ideal, just the way you are, because that's what Model Land is about. Tyra will take you there, okay? Then you can get with one of the dudes from the dude school. Give it to Vanya. Well, you know, part of being a YA protagonist, female protagonist, is not wanting the job. And just like Parapatina didn't want to be a gamer, she wanted to be a scribe. Why would he tell me and not? An anvil sits on my chest, because he knew that I'd have to be the one to hold off the Redditors as long as possible. He studies my face like he'll never see it again. And I'm the one who can kill them all. It'll kill me to shield that many times, but I'm the best shot that we have, the best shot that he has to survive. You can kill them. There is no me without you, he says against my skin. Before I can react, he turns toward the valley and lifts his arms, throwing up a wall of shadow that consumes the space between the ridgelines. Go. I'll give you as much time as I can. Every second matters, and these are bound to be my last, our last. In the span of one heartbeat, I look over my shoulder and past Pete and see the flaming ruins of the trading post town people run through the city, fleeing the Redditors that circle above. The only thing that stands firmly in the flames is the Happy Mask Shop, and it isn't even burning. What the hell is that place made out of? My stomach drops at our failure. We haven't managed to evacuate all of the civilians, and the Happy Mask Shop has locked the door to keep the civilians out. What the hell is wrong with that guy? At the second beat, I draw a stuttered breath of smoke-laden air as a lone cucumber flies through the haze, followed by Garrick and Imogene on their pickles, and I can only hope that the others are still alive. In a third heartbeat, I turn back toward Liam and Day's lifeless body, and rage it floods my veins faster than any hot pocket got fast in a microwave on high power. The horde of Redditors behind Grimshaw's wall will tear into Pete and Heart Eater just like Day. And Grimshaw, no matter how strong he is, Grimshaw won't be able to hold them off forever. I must ban them all from the internet. His arms already shake with the effort of controlling so much power. He'll be the first to die if I'm not exactly what he called me to under that tree all those months ago. Pariah Patina. Make them all sick. You're gonna get character development or lack it all. That's fine, Abigail, because oh wait, you weren't here for. Weren't you here for Model Land? There was just like an innocent little smoochy smooch at the end of Model Land. Just an innocent smooch. Bravo was a perfect gentleman. He like had his buddies. That's what I thought. He like had his buddies help him approach Tookie, and it was good. He had his buddies spell the name, Tookie's name on their buff chests. Look at her now, spewing hot pockets at freaking Redditors. You sure you don't want this? This could be your future right now. There are dozens of Redditors and one of me. I have to be as strategic as Brennan and as confident as Mira. I've spent the last year trying to prove to myself that I'm nothing like my mother. I'm not a cold-hearted bitch. I'm not callous. When maybe there is a part of me that's more like her than I care to admit. Because right now, standing near the dead body of my friend and his pickle, all I want to do to these assholes is show them exactly how violent I can be. I put my goggles down as I turn on to Pete's shoulder, mounting quickly. There's no need to ask him to launch, not when our emotions are aligned like this. We are basically the same person / pickle. We want the same exact thing. Revenge. I buckle the straps across my thighs as Pete springs upward, taking off with heavy beats on his massive wings. The bloodied Redditors have doubled back, and Pete flies straight at it like bowling pins. Gonna get hit with the bowling ball, bitch. I don't even care if it's the same one that just killed our friend. They're all gonna die. I'm doing the little die dance song. As soon as we get close enough, I throw my hands out, letting all of the power loose with a guttural scream. Hot Pocket juices and pizza sauce and cheese and pepperoni like pieces flying in every direction, burning every Redditor with third-degree burns, first-degree burns, then down to their skin, melting with that boiling lava hot heat that can only come from a radiation in a box. Microwave power inside of food. I never see the one coming at us from the left, not until Pete's roar of pain. I'm gonna be the serendipity the YA runs into. How is that, Abigail? We're gonna shit a house? Fair. What if Abby has a sushi wielding BF? But it was the third brother who commanded the sky to surrender its greatest power, who finally vanquished his jealous sibling at the great and terrible price. Who the frick are we being introduced to at 95% of the way? You want to be the 1/4 life crisis? That yes, Tris, that's perfect. That's perfect, Kyle. I whip around in the saddle and see the mods. The one who killed Solel, distended branch like veins spread from her red eyes, grasping the sword that she stabbed in between Pete's scales in the area behind his wings. There's a mod in your back, I shout at Pete as the mod whips a ball of fire toward my head. It comes so close, and I feel the singe of heat along my cheeks. Pete rolls, executing a dizzying climb that throws my weight back into my saddle, and yet the mod holds fast, grabbing onto the embedded sword as her feet fly out from under her. The second Pete takes off, the mod stares at me like I'm her next meal, striding for me with nothing but resolve in her eyes and fisting serrated green-tipped daggers, not in the sexy way. Three more gamerless ones on my tail. Pete says, "Fuck. There's something I'm missing. It's taunting me from the edge of my mind like an answer to a test that I know that I've studied for. Aren't you a little small for a pickle gamer?" The mod hisses. Big enough to kill you. Pete and I are dead if I don't do something. My story is rebelling against you lot for forcing me into a YA protagonist role. Sounds like a YA role to me. Finding your place and rebelling against childhood. Exactly, Semantic Dragon. Thank you. Perf. Getting mileage out of this keg. I mean, as long as you guys are... I need you to stay level, I tell Pete, unbuckling my thigh straps. You will not unseat, Pete growls. I will not let her kill you. I climb to my feet and unsheath the two daggers that Grimshaw gave me today. Every single challenge, every obstacle, every hour that Imogene spent in the weight room, every single time that Grimshaw has taken me to the mat has been worth something, right? This is just a challenge with not so fictitious dark wielders on the parapet. A moving, flying parapet. Did I say parapet? I meant parapet. Get back in your seat, Pete orders. You can't shake her. She'll cut you again. I'll have to kill her. I shove the fear aside, just like I did on the parapet. There's no room for it here. By the dying sunlight and the eerie glow of the burning city below us, I dodge the first swipe of her knife and then the second, ducking low and throwing up my forearms to block a downward thrust, halting a plunge, a metal jabbing toward my face. The force of the impact results in a snap, and I know that is one of my bones. You know, considering she's supposed to be made of paper, she is actually doing pretty well to not get murdered. You know, if you kill yourself on the first page, then it's just gonna be you as a ghost. It means it means your boyfriend is probably gonna be the Grim Reaper. Excruciating pain momentarily freezes me as a dagger flies out of my hand and I'm down to only one. My heart pounds as my feet catch on one of Pete's spikes and I stumble. An aggressive Sean Paul accent, and so you're fake Jamaican. Fair. I can't even handle my ruined. I can't even I can't even cradle candle. I can't even cradle my ruined throbbing arms as she advances, gaining on me with every lunge. It's swipe of my green-tipped daggers, as if she knows how quickly I'm going to do before I do it. She counters every single one of my attacks with a quicker one of her own, as if she's adapting to my fighting style with mere moments of combat. She's unnaturally quick, and I've never seen Grimshaw or Imogen move this fast. I managed to parry each of her attacks, and there is no question that I'm on the defense. She's not even in leathers. She's just a fluttering sail of a robe, and still pain flares in my side, hot and sharp, and I fall back in disbelief when I find one of her daggers protruding low in my side, just beneath the edge of the pickle scale armor. Pete roars and Kim shrieks, "Perpetina!" Grim screams, "She's too fast." I doubt the dagger has struck anything vital from its position, and I fight through mouth-watering nausea to balance the only mod blade that I have left and yank hers out. But something isn't right. The wound begins to burn, and I immediately battle to keep my balance as acid races through my veins. The tip on the knife is no longer green as it falls from my fingers. Such untapped power. No wonder we were called. You could command the sky to surrender all of its power, and I bet you don't even know what to do with it, do you? Gamers never do. I'm going to split you open and see where all that astonishing hot pocket meat comes from, baby. She waves the other dagger at me, and I realize that she's playing with me. Or maybe I'll let him do it. You'll wish for death if I hand you over to my sage. She has a teacher? She's a damn student just like me, and I'm lethally outmatched. I can barely keep track of which hand her blade is in. My arm has its own heartbeat, and my side screams. Level the playing field. Grim orders, and he's split his powers, and shadows rush from the cliff at my left, throwing the world around me and the mod into a cloud of complete darkness, and I have the power of light. I'm the one who control now, and I know the terrain of Pete's back like my own hand. Moving to the right where I can feel the slope of his shoulder, I take up a fighting stance, grip my dagger in my good hand, and let my power explode through the dark, illuminating the sky from one crackle priceless second. The mod is disoriented, her back turned toward me. I plunge the ruined dagger between her ribs, right where Grimshaw showed me all of those months ago, and yank it out so that I don't lose it. She staggers backward, her face turning ashen gray before she falls from Pete's back, and I falter, swaying as the acid in my veins burns brighter, harsher, incinerating me from inside out. She's dead, I managed to tell them, throwing a word out toward Pete, Grimshaw, Kim, Heart-Eater, whoever might be listening. The shadows fall away, letting in the fading light of dusk as I stumble toward a saddle, holding my side to staunch the flow of blood from the stab wound. You're hurt, Pete accuses. I'm fine, I lie, staring with wide eyes at this black blood sludges through my fingers. Not good. So not good. I won't be able to fight another in hand to hand, not with the wound in my side, and soon I'll be too weak to wield. The strength is flowing out of me with my blood. I sheath the dagger. My best weapon now is my mind. Taking a deep breath, I fight to steady my heartbeat and think, they're falling, Pete says, and I jerk my gaze from the side to see the Redditors tumbling from the sky and crashing to the earth. Gamerless Redditors created by the mods, and they all die because I killed one mod. That's what Liam was trying to tell me. When a gamer dies, when a pickle dies, so does his gamer. But apparently when a mod dies, so do the Redditors that they created. All of them. That's how we can save everyone on this battlefield. There were 2 gamers among the horde that Grimshaw is holding back. We have to take out the gamers, I whisper. Yes, Pete agrees, following my thoughts. Excellent idea. Blank pages. You refuse the forest? I don't even know what's happening. Become the villainess of a YA reluctant story? Hey, Mike, congratulations. If I'm wrong, we're both dead, and so are Grimshaw and Hearteater. I will I will bet my life on you as I have from the first day, he says, banking to fly back to the valley as the other pickles rush for their gamers to follow us, no doubt following Pete's command. Only Garrick and his brown scorpion tail are behind us, flying low and fast toward Grimshaw. 3 of the mods are dead, but one is. I watch in horror as a mod with a staff as tall as he strides out of the darkness, his menacing gaze locked on Grimshaw. To the left! I scream at Grimshaw. Hearteater spins and blasts fire at the mod, but he doesn't so much as pause. Garrick leans from his seat and flings a dagger, but before I can even reach it, the robed figure slams his staff into the ground and disappears like he was never there. He moved. But to where? The hell? I shout into the wind. A general can recognize another general, and that's their leader, Pete says. The sage? I can't hold them back any... I can't... problem. I can't hold them back any longer. Grimshaw yells, his arms shaking so hard it looks like his body is tearing itself apart at the very seams as we rush toward the mouth of the valley. New plan, I tell Grimshaw. As Pete pushes himself to the max, I need you to let the shadows fall. What? He's already wondering. I can see it by straining shapes against the shadows. Redditors desperate to push their way through. So much suffering. The hurt in Kim's voice jars me. I whip my head back toward the trading post and catch a glint of gold. My heart seizes. No, it's not safe for you there. You need me, she yells. Please hide. One of us has to survive this, I tell her as Pete flies past Grimshaw and Hearteater. Grimshaw, you have to drop the shadows. It's the only way. Pete, Hearteater shouts, fear edging her tone in a way that I've never heard. Don't ask that of me. Even Grimshaw's voice shakes. Those shadows are coming down, whether or not he wants them to. He's approaching burnout. If you ever trusted me, Grimshaw, I need you to do it now. I use the earlier words, barely breathing through the searing pain in my side. He'll lose himself to the burnout if he doesn't trust me. Fuck! In a blink, the wall of shadow falls and the Redditors fly toward us with terrifying speed. If I can't do this, no one will survive. There are too many of them. Spot the powerful gamer, Pete. It's the best bet, the only bet. We're a minute away from a collision. Once I've taken the gamer out, that only leaves one, Grimshaw. Just kill that one and the rest of the Redditors will fall. I'm coming, but I'll get there first. Pete is faster than Hearteater. You saved us by holding them back this long. You want sparkles? I don't know. Abigail Star Queen. Pretty solid, if I say so myself. I'm abdicating the throne. You can only do that after the end of everything. When he starts to respond, I slam my shield down, blocking him out to concentrate. Pete's head swivels left and then right, searching, and I break apart the last of the archive walls, keeping one foot firmly on the marble floor. There, Pete says, his head turning to the right. That one. In the corner of the flying horde is seated a mod, crimson veins streaking his temples and traveling down his cheeks. You sure? I ask. Positive. Blue fire erupts from the hordes, and I barely draw breath before a torrent of shadow rises from the edge of the valley, snuffing out the flame. Power ripples in my bones, vibrating from my very being with the amount of energy that I'm forcing my body to contain. Tell me that your plan isn't to try and jump onto the Redditor's back, Pete asks as my breath hitches. I don't have to. Didn't you hear what didn't you hear what the mod said? I can command the sky to surrender all of its power, but I'm going to need every ounce of yours to do it. I unleash my gamer words like never before and strike once, missing the Redditors, then once again, missing once more. They're almost on us as I strike again and again, pushing myself to the limit as Grimshaw smothers the blue flames before they have a chance to burn me alive. I can't aim. I'm not ready. Maybe if I had another year or two to practice, but not now. I need more, Pete. You will burn out, Silver One. He growls. You already are walking the edge. My arms shake as I lift them again. This is the only way that I can save them. I can save Heart Eater. You just have to decide to live, Pete. Even if I don't. Didn't freaking Liam just die because his pickle died? And now she's like, I will also die, but you'll have to live for me. Will she not also kill Kim and Pete if she dies? Liam was the guy that initially Grimshaw had stationed with her when he started stalking her and gave her a bodyguard because he couldn't be around all the time. And so then Liam sat outside her bedroom door. Just Grimshaw's side, bro. Liam did die earlier. I guess we're putting Peripatina in the microwave. I will not watch another game or die because they do not know their own limitations. One more strike could be your last. I feel your waning strength. I know exactly what I'm capable of, I promise, as energy fills my body once again and my heart jolts, struggling to find the right rhythm. Hot. I'm so damned hot. I feel like I could burst into flames myself. I've taken too much power. I'm not Nolan. Fear threatens to consume me as the mod rides at us, close enough that I can see his snarling mouth, but it's not my terror, it's Pete's. Let me help, Kim shouts, and in my heart swells even as it stutters from the energy flowing through my veins. I don't have time to look to see where she is, only hope that she's still at the outpost. Only what I need, I say to her. I swallow hard, my good hand clutching the blood-tipped dagger as we fly toward the wall of Redditors, and I reach out for a golden power and it spreads down my spine and explodes. Pete flares his wings, bringing us to cover. The Redditors move toward us, inches by precious inch, fighting against Kim's magic with their own. I want to kill that mod, and God help me, I do. Now! I push my arms toward the mod and command lightning to split the sky, and it does, branching out in every direction, but only needs to control one of its silver blue veins, and I focus on the one closest to the mod, bringing it down in bursts that defy time. My arms vibrate, and I feel Pete's power push the boundaries of my body as I yank the branch sideways in its descent inch by inch, with the last of my strength positioning it over the mod. More Pete! What flavor? I also need Tylenol. Why would you give this? Why would you say, I wonder if I can get my daughter to read this if it makes you want to drink more? That feels counterintuitive. Unless you own stock in liquor stores. So shouldn't Pete be dead if her brother was Pete's writer? No. You don't like her? Oh no. He roars and lightning rips itself through me, seizing my lungs and charring my very breath. As Kim's gift ebbs, I don't have to be near her to feel fatigue and strength ebbing, but I only take what I need. Kim will live today, even if she is the only one. I have only a few heartbeats, or as much power will burn through me and take me under. Grimshaw screams through the barrier in my mind, and the sound of his anguish and fear are nearly more than I can bear. But there's no time to focus on him, to wonder what'll happen if I don't succeed, because right now I am focused on vengeance with coldness that would make even my mother proud. Okay, so isn't part of this whole thing is that if Grimshaw killed her, Pete would die, and then Heart Eater would be mad, and that's kind of been part of this entire thing. Finally, dragging the lightning down into place as my skin sizzles and burns, I release time and hold myself upright long enough to see a strike true, killing the mod at the first time of its energy. As if time were still frozen, my body slowly topples from the top of the Redditor. In the next breath, more than half of the monsters fall from the sky, and as they were stuck themselves and as if it had been waiting for me to accomplish my goal, the wound on my side threatens to burn me alive. On the left, Pete roars, swinging toward the Redditors and its gamer as they barrel toward us with murder in their eyes. A rope of shadow flies up, wrapping around the mod's neck, and Pete banks to the left to avoid the hit, and I barely managed to keep my seat. Grimshaw pulls the mod from the Redditor's back and yanks him downward right into the dagger that he holds in his outstretched hand. Damn, sometimes I forget how beautifully lethal that he is. Meanwhile, knowing that they'll be alive, I let gravity claim my body and slide from Pete's back. Peripatina! I hear Grimshaw scream as I fall. In the event that you come across poison you do not recognize, it is best to treat with any and every antidote. Either way, the patient will die, but at least this way you have learned something. Major Frederick's Modern Guide for Healers. It doesn't make for tech support. Sorry. Yeah, why are there still some that are alive when their gamers are dead? I thought they came back to look for new gamers when their previous gamers died. Pain, suffering, irritation, exasperation. Yeah. Don't worry, we're at 96%, Abigail. I think I might die today. Air rushes by and my stomach feels like it's somewhere above me because I'm falling. Endlessly falling. Heat roars and it's a panic. The pitch of that below that forces my eyes open just long enough to see him diving for me, but I can't feel him in my head, can't feel my feet on the archive floors, can't access my power. I cut off, no longer grounded. My back slams into something, knocking the breath out from my lungs, slowing my descent, but not stopping it, and shimmering gold rises and ebbs and flows around me. Wind falls. The cries of mayhem and destruction pause, but the burn inside rages, my consuming me with fiery teeth. Time. Kim has stopped time with the strength that she has left. I'm on my back, falling because she isn't strong enough to carry me. But she's brave, brave enough to fly into the battle. Now my eyes are burning too, and she shouldn't be here. She shouldn't be here. She should be tucked away in the Betty by at the outpost, safe from the Redditors, so she doesn't have to see what they post. They're trolling their bad pictures, their freaking roast me's where they start crying when you actually roast them because they can't handle the heat. Why can't you handle the freaking heat? Are there any Redditors left? Did we get them all? When time starts again, wind whipping my exposed skin, I slip from my back and am gathered close by human being arms. Human beings like beans, but human. Perpetina. I know that deep, panicked voice.
Grimshaw. But I can't move. I can't even move my lips to scream with pain and all that puts the pressure on the wound.
Fuck. It must be poison. You have to fight it. Tell that poison off. Perpetina, you cannot accept that the poison is in your veins. You have to use your gamer words.
Poison. The green-tipped dagger. But what poison could paralyze me not only physically, but magically?
I will take care of you, just. Please. Live.
Of course he wants me to live. I'm integral to his survival. I'm basically... I don't want to say it. I'm basically a skin sleeve for him. It takes all of my strength, but I manage to lift my eyelids for a second. The blatant fear in his eyes jolts my heart before I lose consciousness.
Maybe it isn't poison, someone says in a deep voice, and I wake up but can't pry my eyes open. Garrick, maybe? Gods, everything hurts. Maybe it's magic. Did you see the way that she whipped lightning straight at that mod's head like gods? Someone asked. Not now, Bodhi practically growls. She saved your fucking life. She saved all of our lives.
But I didn't. So Lel and Liam is dead.
Her blood is fucking black. Grimshaw snaps and his arms tighten, holding me to the chest. It has to be poison, Imogene cries, a sound that I've never heard from her. Look at it. We have to get her back to Bethesda. Nolan might be able to help her. We have... Solel was a random person thrown into this scene. Yes, Nolan. They need to take me to Nolan, but I can't say it. Can't make my lips move. You know, you'd think that they would understand in general without her telling them that they could take her to the freaking tech support head guy. Can't even reach out me along the mental pathways that have become as familiar to me as breathing. Being cut off from Pete, from Kim, from Grimshaw is torture all on its own. That's a 12-hour flight. Grimshaw voice raises, and I'm pretty sure her arm is broken. I'll be dead in 12 hours. The promise of sweet oblivion is already hovering over me at the edge of my consciousness. A promise of peace that if I agree to just go, it'll be fine. There's somewhere closer. Grimshaw sighs quietly, and I feel his fingers skim my cheeks. The motion is unnervingly tender. Another wave of fire consumes me, singeing every nerve. I wonder if I have eyebrows. Make it stop. Gods, make it stop. You can't be serious. Someone's voice lowers to a hiss. You'll put everything at risk, Garrick warns as sleep tugs at me, the only escape from the searing pain. Pete bellows so loudly my rib cage vibrates. At least he's close. I wouldn't say that again, Imogene mutters, or he'll probably eat you. And don't forget, if she dies, there's a damn good chance that Grimshaw does too. I'm not saying that he shouldn't, just reminding him what's at stake here, Garrick replies. But can Pete feel the disconnect between us? Is he suffering the same way that I am? Was the sword poisoned too? Can Kim fly, or does she need sleep? Sleep. That's what I want. Cool, blissful, empty sleep. I don't give a fuck what happened to me. We are going to... and that's an order. Bye, Monty. What happened? No need for orders, man. We'll save her. That's Bodhi, I think. Live up to your nickname and fight this. Pariah Patina. Grimshaw whispers against my ear, and then he says louder to someone farther away, we have to get her to him. We ride. I feel the shift as he begins to walk, but the agony of movement against the wound is too much, and I fade to blackness. Hours pass before I wake up again. Maybe seconds, maybe days, maybe it's forever. And I've been sentenced to an eternity of torture by Malik for my sheer recklessness that I can't bring myself to regret saving them. Maybe it's better if I die, and then Grimshaw might die. Whatever is wedged between us right now, I don't want him to die. I'll never want that. A steady rush of wind at my face and the rhythmic beat of wings tells me that we're flying, and it takes all of the energy I have to lift a single eyelid as we pass over the cliffs of Draylor. 1,000-foot drop is unmistakable. It's what made the Terrorish Rebellion not only possible, but nearly successful. Congratulations, Abigail. The poison scorches every vein, every nerve ending in my body as it runs through me unchecked, slowly slowing my heartbeat. Even the irony that I'm going to die by poison, something that I have unparalleled knowledge of, can make me muster the energy to speak, to offer any thoughts on the anecdote. How can I, when I don't even know what's been used on me? Until a few hours ago, I didn't even know that freaking mods existed outside of Fables. And now there's nothing but pain and death. It's only a matter of time, and mine is short. Why, hey, Star Queen. I didn't do it. Death would be preferable to existing for a second in this pyre of a body, but it's apparently a mercy that I'm not allowed as I've jostled awake. Air. There's not enough air. My lungs struggle to inhale. You sure about this? Imogene asks. Each step Grimshaw takes brings a new wave of agony that starts at my side and ripples through my whole body. Stop fucking asking him that, Garrick snaps. He has made his decision. Support him or get the fuck out. Imogene. It's a bad one, another man retorts. When you have 107 scars on your back, then you can get to make the fucking decision, Ciaran. Where did this guy come from? He wasn't there. The stars dancing around Abby do say that she is a YA protag, not gonna lie. Pete's roar startles me, and I twitch which only intensifies the already indescribable torture of racking my body now. What was that? Garrick asks from somewhere to my left. If you basically said that you'll cook us alive if I fail. Grimshaw replies, holding me closer. I guess that part of the bond is still in place. My cheek falls against his shoulder, and I swear I feel a brush of his kiss over my forehead and the smell of a single Tostino in his tiny miniature Hot Pocket Creator air fryer. Sorry, I'm a little delusional from all of the pain. But that can't be right. I can't smell a single Tostito from this height. It's a struggle to pump the liquid fire that's cauterizing my veins. Gods, I wish that he'd just let me die. I deserve it. I'm the reason that Liam is dead. I'm so weak-minded that I didn't even realize Dane took my memories and used them against me. Against Liam. You have to fight, Perpetina. Grimshaw whispers against my forehead, and we move. You can hate me all that you want when you wake up. You can scream, hit me, throw your fucking dagger at me, all that you care, punch me in the balls. But you have to live. You can't make me fall for you and then die. None of this is worth it without you. He sounds so sincere, and I almost believe him, which is exactly what got me into this situation in the first place. Grimshaw? A familiar voice calls out, but I can't place it. Bodhi, maybe? One of the second years? So many strangers and no friends. Liam is dead. You have to save her. Well, we're at 97%, and POV switch, BT dubs. You're all cowards. The last words of Fen Rysel. Redacted. She'll be all right. Heart Eater's voice is gentler than she's ever deigned to use with me. Then again, she didn't choose choose me because I needed cuddling. She chose me for the scars on my back and the simple fact that I am the grandson of her second rider. Then how is she alive? And the only one didn't make it through the quadrant. You don't know that she will be alright. No one does. It's been 3 fucking days and Peripitina hasn't woken up. 3 never-ending days that I've spent in this armchair, walking a knife's edge between sanity and madness, studying every rise and fall of her chest to be sure that she is still breathing and jacking off to pass the time. My lungs only feel when hers do, and the time between heartbeats is filled with sharp, all-consuming fear. Start the Book of Revelations. Yeah, we're in Grimm's POV. She never looked fragile to me, but she does now, lying in the middle of my bed, her lips pale and chapped, the ends of her hair duller than usual blade-like hue. For 3 days, everything about her has felt as though life was leached from her body, only a shadow of her soul left beneath her skin. Today, at least, the morning light shows her cheeks have a little more color along the darker line of flight goggles from yesterday. She is fragile as frick. That's why she wasn't supposed to become a gamer. I'm a fucking fool. I should have left her in Bethesda or sent her with Athos, even if it strained Heart Eater and Pete, even if he got blue balls that would likely explode on the battlefield and rain come upon all the unfortunate villages below. She never should have suffered the punishment of Colonel Athos and his delivery, for a crime that she didn't even know that I was committing. I didn't even suspect. I ran a hand through my hair. She wasn't the only one who suffered. Liam would be alive. Liam. Guilt pairs with my soul-sucking grief, and I can barely inhale around my pain in my chest. I've ordered my foster brother to keep her safe, and that order got him killed. His death is on me. I should have known what he was waiting for us at Atbine. You should have told her about the mods. I've waited for you to impart that information, and now she's suffering. Pete growls. The dragon, the pickle, is a living, fire-breathing embodiment of my shame, but at least the bond that links the 4 of us is still in place, even if he can't communicate with her, which means Peripetina is alive. He can yell at me all that he wants as long as her heart's beating. I should have done a lot of things differently, okay? What I should have done was fought my feelings for her. I should have grabbed onto her after that first kiss the way that I wanted and kept her at my side. Should have let her all the way in. My eyelids scratch like sandpaper each time I blink, but I'm fighting sleep with every bone in my body. Sleep is here. I hear her heartbreaking scream, hear her cry that Liam died, hear her call me for a fucking traitor all over again. She can't die. And just because there's a chance that I won't survive, she can't die because I know that I can't live without her even if I do. Somewhere between the shock of our attraction and just how hot she is, and also the good time of the mukbangs and starting a mukbang channel where we will talk about Hot Pockets over Hot Pockets. I ended up wanting to give up a boot for someone else on the parapet the first day to her, throwing those daggers at my head under the oak tree. I've wavered. I should have realized the danger of getting too close the first time that I put her on the back and showed her how easily she could kill me on the mat, the vulnerability that I've allowed no one else, but I've brushed it off as an undeniable attraction to a uniquely beautiful woman. When I watched her conquer the gauntlet, then defend Kim at the LAN party, I stumbled, stunned by both her cunning and sense of honor, and also that ass. When I burst into her room and found Orin's treacherous hand on her throat, the rage that made it so easy to kill all 6 of them without batting an eye should have told me that I was headed for a cliff. And when she smiled at me after mastering her shield in mere minutes, her face lighting up as the snow fell around us. I fucking fell. I was ruined. We didn't even kiss. Or maybe it was when she threw her knives at Todd Howard. Or when jealousy ate me alive, seeing Atos kiss the mouth that I've dreamed about countless times, eating my hot pockets. Looking back, there were 1,000 tiny moments that pulled me over the edge for the woman asleep in the bed as I've always pictured her in. And I've never told her, not until she was delirious with poison. Why? Because I was scared to give her power over me when she already had it all. Because she's Lilith Sorengale's daughter. Because she kept giving Ato second and third chances. No, because I couldn't give her those words without being totally, completely honest with her. And after the way that she looked at me at the lake, the utter betrayal. By a Hulk analysis, congratulations. The rustle of sheets makes my gaze whip up to her face, and I take my first full breath since she fell from Pete's back. Her eyes are open. You're awake. My voice sounds like it's been dragged across gravel when I thought that I'd been only my heart. I stagger to my feet and take 2 steps to separate me from the bed. She's awake. She's alive. She's smiling. That must be the trick of the light. This woman likely wants to set me on fire. Can I check your side? The mattress depresses slightly as I sit near her hip. She nods and stretches her arms up to the cat who's been napping in the sun before reaching for the blankets. Drawing back the covers, I untie the robe covering of her short nightdress and change her into the first evening and slowly lift the hem above the silken skin of her hip, preparing myself for the black tendrils that discolored the veins during the flight but receded slowly since arriving. There's nothing, just a thin, silver line an inch above her hip bone. Air gushes from my lungs in relief. Miraculous. What's miraculous? She croaks, looking down at her new scar. Shit. I would be a horrible tech support. Water. My hands shake with exhaustion or relief. I don't even care which as I pour a glass from the pitcher at the bedside. You must be parched. She pushes herself to sit and then takes a glass, drinking the entire thing down. Thanks, boo. You are. I set the empty glass on the nightstand and then turned back to her, gazing into her hazel eyes that have haunted me since the parapet. You are miraculous. I was fucking terrified. Peripatina. There aren't adequate words. I am barely able to speak now. Yay, Bobby! I'm fine, Grimshaw. Can't you tell from the look on my face? She says, slowly, her hand raising to rest above my pounding heart. I thought I was going to lose you. The confession comes out in a strangle, and maybe it's pushing my luck after all that I've put her through, but I can't keep from leaning forward and brushing my lips over her forehead, then her temple. Gods, I'd kiss her forehead. I'd kiss her forever if I thought that it would keep the coming argument at bay. Keep us in one pristine moment when I can actually believe that everything might be alright between us, that I haven't irrevocably fucked up the best thing that has ever happened to me. You aren't going to lose me, okay? She gives me a puzzled look, smiling like I've said something peculiar. Then she leans in and kisses me. She still wants me. The revelation makes my heart fucking sore. I take the kiss deeper, swiping my tongue over her soft lips and gently sucking on the tender curve. That's all that it takes for the need to flood my system, hot and demanding. It's always like this between us. The slightest spark sets off a wildfire that consumes every thought that isn't related to how many ways I can make a hot pocket, at what times, in what temperatures. We'll have a lifetime of these moments ahead of us when I can open up 5 boxes from Costco, stack them into a pyramid of Hot Pocket sauces, and allow the over-steamed popping edges to drizzle pizza sauce down onto the plate like a giant Hot Pocket volcano. I draw back slowly, releasing her mouth. I'll make it up to you, I promise, holding her delicate hands between my rough ones. I'm not saying we won't fight, or that you won't want to throw daggers at me, or that you won't even get tired of Hot Pockets and say, Grim, can we have something other than Hot Pockets? But I tell you, we will get the ham and cheese Hot Pocket sometime, and even the breakfast Hot Pocket sometimes, and you will change your mind about every dinner meal Hot Pocket time. I will always strive to do better, even when I am inevitably going to be an ass, I swear. Make what up to me? She pulls away from me with an inquisitive smile. I blink as my brows furrow. Has she lost her memories? How much do you remember? By the time we get there, the poison spreads to your brain, and her eyes flicker, and something shifts, something that sinks my stomach like a rock that tugs her hands from mine. She glances away, and her eyes glaze in that way that tells me that she's checking in with her pickle. Don't panic. Everything is fine. Kim isn't quite the same, but she is her. Oh, did Monty come back? Welcome back. You are listening in bed and cozy. That should be apple fritter pocket. They should be apple fritter pockets. He's fucking huge now. But I'm not about to say that's to Violet. Her gift is also gone, according to Pete, but there's plenty of time to share the news. Instead, how long has Peripatina been out? The tech support told me that he isn't sure what lasting effects the poison might have, because it was something that he's never seen, and no one really knows how long it will take to get your memories back if there's any lasting damage. But I tell you, she throws up her hand and looks around the room as if noticing where we are for the first time, then scrambles backward out of the bed, pulling the robe closed. The look in her eyes puts a vice around my chest as he stumbles to the large window that lines my bedchamber. The windows that look out over the mountain the fortress is built upon, to the valley below and its line of charred trees, making where the earth was scorched all the way to stone of the quiet town, which used to be a city of Ayrshire beneath us. The town that we've worked our asses off to rebuild from the pile of cinder and ruin. Peripatina. I keep my shields up, trying to respect her privacy as I walk to her side, but gods, do I need to know what she's thinking. Her eyes widen and her gaze sweeps over the town, each structure which is identical green roofs, then pauses on the Temple of Amari, which is the most notable landmark besides our library. Of course the library is notable. You invested too much time. I mean, Monty, your feelings do matter. They matter to me. They matter to me. And don't make me stare at you. Where are we? And don't you dare lie to me. Not again. Not again. You remember. I remember. Thank gods. I murmur, shoving my hand into my hair. It's a good thing that proving that she truly healed, but fuck. Oh my gosh. Why are there still so many pages left? What the frick? I was like, we're at 98%. There's like 10 pages left. Let me actually see how many true pages there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my gosh. The love doesn't end here. Join the Entangled Insiders for free ebooks. No! Where are we? She bites out every word, eyes narrowing on me. Say it. The way that you're looking at me says you already know. There's no way that this brilliant woman... Oh my gosh, how many times has he called her marvelous and brilliant? Doesn't recognize that temple. This looks like Arsha. She gestures toward the window. There's only one temple with those particular columns. I've seen the drawings. The brilliant fucking woman. Guys, new drinking rule. If he said she's brilliant or marvelous, drink. Arsha was burned to the ground. I've seen those drawings too. The ones that the normies brought back from the public notice. My mother told me that she saw the embers with her own eyes. So where the fuck are we? Arsha, it feels incredibly freeing to tell her the truth. Rebuilds are never burned. In the process of rebuilding. Why haven't I read about this? I start to tell her, but she holds up a hand and I wait. I only take her a minute to work out it too. She points to my incel relic and says, Melgren can't see the outcome when more than 3 of you are together. That's why you're not allowed to assemble. I can't help it. I smile. This fucking brilliant woman is mine. Or was mine. Will be mine again if anything I have to say about it, which I probably don't. I sigh. I'm losing my smile immediately. Fuck. This brilliant woman may not be mine. Good night, Triss. You're fallen. We will inscribe your name on the beautiful tombs. Okay, give me a second. We can do this. Guys. Oh. I'm not gonna be able to do it in a notepad. This means I'm actually gonna have to open freaking... Give me a second. We're making a tombstone for Triss. Eventually. Once Photoshop opens. Because I actually do need the transparent background. Oh my gosh. Talk amongst yourselves, please. Oops. Just don't be surprised when this looks a little bit like Garbo. Ugh. Oh no. Okay. Boop. Oh no, it just looks like a ghost. I will do a proper tombstone someday. Maybe give it a little bit, give it a little bit of grass. I can't show you because it has to be a surprise. It would just take longer anyways. Let's be real. Trees? Oh my gosh. Trees. That is way too large. It's on the way. I swear. How is that not on here? I guess she gets Comic Sans. Let's be real. You're welcome. It's what everybody asked for. It's fine. Okay, 1 second. Now we gotta add it. You are beyond tired. Well, you know. Me too. There you go. I should put that under stream avatars. F's in the chat. You typed exploded. Thank you, Abigail. Hey, you're supposed to be dead. Anyway. No, I'm not going to give up until she tells me no. I was killed by Fourth Wing. F. She's a ghost. I guess fair, considering what your YA story is. Things might be complicated, but so are both of us. That, and we're not big enough to warrant the attention of the normies anymore. We're not hidden, we're just not advertising our existence. Which is also the reason that this place is still technically mine. Nobles weren't exactly eager to throw their money at the scorched city or to be taxed or on unusable land. Eventually they'll notice. Eventually I'll lose it. Then I'll lose my head. You can know whatever you want, just ask. She stiffens. Tell me one thing right now. Is Liam really dead? Liam. A fresh stab of sorrow pierces my ribs. Heartbeats pass in silence as I try to find the right words, but there aren't any. So I take from my pocket the palm-side, freshly finished carving of Kim that Liam had been working on. Oh my gosh, that's right. He was like Saijima and did Carving Club. She turns it in my direction. Her gaze immediately. Good night for reals, Triss. Her gaze immediately locking on the figurine and her eyes water. It's my fault. No, it's mine. If I had just told you everything sooner, you would have been prepared and probably would have schooled all of us on how to kill them. My soul breaks all over again when she wipes the twin tears from with the back of her hand. I set the carving in her hand. I know that I should have, but I couldn't bear to burn it. I laid him to rest yesterday. Well, the others did. I haven't left this room since we got here. Our gazes collided, and it's all that I can do but not reach for her. But I know that I'm the last place that she'll seek comfort. I haven't left you. Well, you do have a vested interest in my survival. Give me a second to get dressed and then we can talk. Kicking me out of the room, huh? New one. Now, Rysel, I can't keep from wincing. She never uses my last name. Maybe it's because she doesn't like to remember that I'm Fen Rysel's son, and all of my father's cost her. But I've always been Grimshaw to her, and the loss feels like a bottomless abyss, like a death blow. But bathing chamber is through there. I point to the far wall and stride for the exit, swinging my sword over my back on the way out. My cousin is leaned against the wall talking to Garrick, who's boasting of a new 6-inch scar from temple to jaw, but they both fall silent as I shut my door behind me. They tense, and Garrick stands at his full height. She's awake. Thanks, Amari. Bodhi says, his shoulders sagging, his arms still in the sling, recovering from 4 places that the mod had fractured it. She's going to have to choose. I look at Garrick, noting the worry in his eyes that he's already told me that he thinks that she'll keep the secret. That worry is for my mental state if she doesn't forgive me for telling her sooner. She'll either keep our secret or she won't. That's something that she'll have to figure out. and then teach her how to hide it from Atos if she chooses. Any word from the gamers? Sirna is alive, if that's what you're asking, Bodhi answers. So is her sister, but the rest, he shakes his head. At least they made it out, and I now know that Peripatina is awake. I can finally breathe. You figured out that the box that the crad was drawn to back at the resin? I ask. Garrick's pickle is remarkably sensitive to runes, which allowed them to locate and retrieve a small box of iron beneath the rebel of the clock tower. They're working on it right now. Hopefully, we'll have an answer in the next couple of hours. I'm glad that she's all right, Grimshaw. I'll tell the others. He nods at once and then heads down the hall, almost unfamiliar with the castle layout as I am, considering that he spent every summer there before the apostasy or secession, as Nevarians called that, the rebellion. Abigail! Funny how people rename everything that makes them feel uncomfortable. We lost faith that our kings would ever do the right thing, and they call us traitors. Bodhi wrinkles his nose. What? You smell like dragon ass. Oh, you smell like dragon ass. Fuck off. I chance a whiff and I can't argue. I'm using your room. I would consider it a personal favor. I extend my middle finger and head to his room. That's right, you smell like pickle ass. I don't know how I missed that. I'm just like... An hour later, and I'm bathed and impatient as I wait outside my room in a fresh set of letters that Bodhi, who's doing his best to lighten the mood, just like he always does, when he opens the door and Peripatina comes out. I nearly swallow my tongue at the sight of her unbound, damp hair curling just under her breasts. I can't even articulate what it is about her that pushes me straight into needing to mukbang with her right now territory, and I'm too busy fighting to keep my hands at my sides and not reaching for the freezer. She exists, and I get turned on and want to and hunger. I've come to accept that particular truth over the last year. Bodhi grins, flashing a smile that looks exactly like my aunt's used to. Good to see you up and about, Soaring Gale. When he smacks me on the shoulder as he walks off, looking back over his shoulder. I'll fetch the backup plan. Good luck. An ass-like smell. Ass-like pickle. Gods, I want to haul her into my arms and take her to the microwave in my kitchen so that we can make all the hot pockets all at once. But I'm sure that's the last thing that she'll ever want again. Come on in, she says softly, and my heart lurches. As long as you've invited me, I walk in, loathing the distrust in her eyes. Whether or not Peripatina will believe me, I've never lied to her, not once. I've never even been entirely truthful either, which is not the same thing. Is all of this original? She points to the artwork across my room. The majority of the fortress is stone, I say as she studies the detailed arches of the ceiling, the natural light in windows, and custom western wall. Stone doesn't burn. Right. I swallow hard. I think after you've seen it, the questions I have to ask before I tell you everything is pretty simple. Are you in? Are you willing to fight with us? I'm in, she nods. Relief surges through me in a rush more powerful than anything and I could channel in Heart Eater, and I reach for her. I'm sorry, I had to keep. My words die on my tongue. Not happening. A world of hurt flashes in my hazel eyes, and I'm fucking withering. I just because I believe that you are willing to fight with... Oh, just because I'm willing to fight with you doesn't mean that I trust you with my heart again, and I can't be with someone that I can't trust. Something in my heart crumbles. I've never lied to you, Peripatina. Not once. I never will. Grumble! She walks over to the window and looks down and then slowly turns back to me. It's not even that you kept this from me. I get it. It's the ease with which you did it. The ease with which I let you into my heart and didn't get the same return. She shakes my head. She shakes her head, and I see it there, the love, but it's masked behind the defense that I foolishly forced her to build. I love her. Of course I love her, but if I tell her now, she'll think that I'm saying it for all of the wrong reasons, and honestly, she would be right. I'm going to lose the only woman that I've ever fallen for without a fight. You're right. I kept secrets, I admit, pressing forward, keeping again, taking step after step until I'm less than a foot in front of her, and I palmed the glass on both sides of her head, loosely caging her in. It took me a long time to trust you, a long time to realize I fell for you. Someone knocks. I ignore it. Don't say that. I fell for you, Peripatina. I lower my head and look straight into those gorgeous eyes. She might be rightfully pissed, but she's sure as Malik is fickle. And you know what? You might not trust me anymore, but I still love you. Excuse me? Her lips part, but she still doesn't deny it. I gave you my trust for free once, and once it is all you get. She masks the hurt with a quick blink. Never again. Those eyes will never reflect hurt I've inflicted ever again. I fucked up by not telling you sooner, and I won't ever try to justify my reasons, but now I'm trusting you with my life, with everyone's lives. I've risked it all just by bringing her here instead of taking her body back to Bethesda. I'll tell you anything that you want to know and everything that you don't. I'll spend every single day of my life earning your trust back. I've forgotten what it feels like to be in love. Really, truly loved. It's been so many years since Dad died and Mom. Not going there. And then Peripatina gave me those words, gave me her trust, her heart, and I remembered I'll be damned if I don't fight to keep them. And if it's not possible, you still loved me. It's possible. Gods, do I ache to feed her Hot Pockets collection from my special home fridge, to remind her of what exactly we do together in the night when we stay up until 4 a.m. with the ring, ring, ring of a microwave and air fryer in the background going I would rather lose this entire war than live without you and never eat Hot Pockets together again. And if it means that I have to prove myself over and over again, then I will do it. You gave me your heart, and I am keeping it. I am not giving it back, Peripatina. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers, nana nana boo boo. Her eyes. She already owns mine, even if she doesn't realize it. Her eyes widen, as if she's finally seeing the resolve of mine. It's time that she knew everything. Knowing Barry Bettina, she won't stay tucked away safe behind Bethesda walls, especially not now that she knows just how corrupt those walls are. She'll fight this war at my side. There's another insistent knock on the door. Fuck! He is impatient, I mutter. You have 20 seconds to ask question if I know him. She blinks. I'm still hoping that missive at Athbine was really about the war games. Do you think that there's any chance that we just happened to end up in the middle of a Reddit attack at the outpost? That definitely wasn't an accident, little sister, he says in the doorway. I sigh and move to the side, watching Peripatina's eyes widen as she sees him standing in the doorway. Told you I knew better poison masters. Told you I knew better poison masters. I told her softly. You weren't healed. You were mended. Brennan? She stares at her brother in open-mouthed shock. Brennan smiles with a grin and opens his arms. Welcome to the revolution, Peripatina. Depends on the Hot Pocket. Watch them toes. No, not your toe. Wait, what? Bobby, her brother didn't die in the war. He ran away. But, like, that also means that her dragon was lying to her the entire time, that Brennan is also not dead. So if she doesn't show this much anger to her dragon in the second book, I claim BS. I claim dragon privilege. It is done. That was the end, you guys. We made it. That was it. There's no more. You've existed. Like, what is... Okay. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I'm, like, trying to find out what... There we go. No. Okay, so the ending... They did their pew-pew fight, went against some Reddit and mods, and Reddit and mods were not supposed to exist, and she finds out that her entire country, whatever, is lying to her about all of their history and what their wars are, and there better be a good reason for it. There's probably not, whatever. And she got poisoned and stabbed during the fight because the things are not even mindless or anything, so they stabbed and poisoned her, and because they didn't have enough time to fly all the way back to Bethesda, he took her to their home area, whatever, that's not supposed to exist because it was destroyed, whatever, during the rebellion or uprising, and her brother is actually there. And after we spent like 20 pages of her just being passed out, she finally wakes up and then sees that her brother is there. The end. That's it. We spent probably however many pages that was, that entire 8% in the fight and angsting and dying, and then that last 2% angsting and sitting around and waiting for Parapatina to get up, and yeah. So now we're all enlightened. You can thank whoever voted for this book. And the new vote will be up. I think actually I should go check to see if I have it going up at midnight, because you may see it in about a half an hour, I think. The fuck is Liam? That was his best friend. Has a best buddy. I'm seeing if it's going up in 30 minutes. Okay. It is. You'll be able to see the next vote then. There were a lot of names that just showed up. Well, good luck voting, you guys. I will see you. Have a good weekend. Thank you for everybody sticking out with me, with each other. We have now trauma bonded. Good night. Don't die.